CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Hey, good morning. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, July 30th. And we've got 13 degrees outside, sunshine expected for the day. I'm going to get you a full forecast looking towards the BC Day long weekend in just a moment. But right now, the news begins, and we say good morning to Lisa Best.
Good morning. Checking the wildfire situation in this province. We have 129 fires burning, 50 considered out of control. We've had 9 starts in the last 24 hours. None of those are on Vancouver Island. The 3 fires we do have burning, again, still being held or under control, have been all this week. So that is really good news on the fire front. The BC Wildfire Service says it's grateful that teams of firefighters from Mexico will start arriving next week. The service has a team of 112 wildfire personnel are set to arrive on August 3rd, and 102 more to follow on August 6th. It says that the Mexican contingent are highly trained and will join firefighters as they continue to respond to blazes here. The wildfire map still says about 50 fires that are burning are classified as out of control. And of course, we know with more than 1,600 homes evacuated at this point. In Saanich, police are trying to track down more victims of an egg-throwing event. An incident happened 8 weeks ago on the night of June 4. Suspects in a black sedan spotted throwing eggs at vehicles and pedestrians. It was in the interurban Marigold area and also the Shelburne-Mackenzie area. The vehicle was located later that night. 4 people arrested. But investigators believe there may be additional victims that haven't been in touch with them yet. If you had to get dry cleaning done, you might want to give Saanich Police a call. The future of policing in Esquimalt will be left to next council to deal with. Councillors say more work needs to be done on whether to stay with Victoria Police or adopt a different model as the current framework agreement comes to an end. Mayor Barb Desjardins says the last report is a good one, and the reality is Esquimalt's costs are higher than other municipalities than their own force.
We have to leave it now for next council, but there's a lot of information there and there's a lot of history, and we are also at the end of our framework agreement at the end of this year. And so there's a number of challenges that new council will face right off the bat. But they have to understand the past in order to be able to move forward. It has been a challenge to make a change.
Esquimalt's bill for policing this year is tabbed at around $11 million. Prime Minister Mark Carney making tracks to the West Coast today. He'll be in Delta to touring the port in Vancouver. Carney's visit to the port comes weeks after the federal announcement that the Robert Banks Terminal 2 expansion project will be referred to the Major Projects Office. His visit to BC follows a stop in Alberta, where he'll announce more than $500 million in funding for infrastructure to support new housing. Carney was in North Vancouver last night at a pub in support of his former Deputy Chief of Staff, Braden Cayley, who's seeking a seat in Parliament now in the riding of North Vancouver-Capilano. That by-election goes next month. Premier David Eby was in Prince Rupert yesterday for meetings with coastal First Nations and North Coast municipal leaders. They held a joint news conference to talk about the importance of keeping a ban on oil tanker traffic in place as part of the recent economic development agreement with the federal government. Eby says it was the most important component of the deal.
The agreement with the federal government provides certainty for business. It provides a path forward to grow our economy. But it also recognizes that for British Columbians, for Canadians, our shared values of ensuring that economic development goes hand in hand with environmental protection, with partnership with First Nations, and support for local communities are values that we will not abandon and we will stand strong for every single time.
The government says the move protects $3 billion in economic development on the Northwest Coast. Public mistrust in artificial intelligence may be morphing into opposition as a state-of-the-art crime-fighting tool makes its way into the market. ABC's Jim Ryan tells us about the growing debate around automatic license plate readers.
Flock is the biggest of the ALPR companies, and its CEO understands the public's privacy concerns. But
once they understand what the technology actually does,
Flock's Garrett Langley says,
most people go, this makes a lot of sense. I want my kids to be safe.
The latest headwind facing his company is coming from Washington. Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky plans to introduce legislation to defund any police department that uses license plate reading cameras. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And since it's so popular here on Vancouver Island, and we love to hear dramatic stories from the trails, here's one about a Montana hiker who had a near miss at the top of a state high peak.
David Cifaldi and his 2 hiking companions were crossing Montana's froze-to-death plateau July 20th when Cifaldi slipped and became impaled by his trekking pole.
I remember rolling over and this kind of realization of like, something's not right here. Realized I had this trekking pole stuck in my side.
Cifaldi, a 32-year-old wound care nurse, was concerned about the cost of a rescue helicopter, so
I was able to kind of talk to my friends a little bit and get everybody on the same page that we were going to make the decision to hike out. It took us 6.5 hours to make it across, make it back down to the Mystic Lake trailhead. Another about hour to the Stillwater Billings Clinic ER, and then my friends drove me from there to the Intermountain Health ER.
The pole missed any vital organs. I'm Donna Warder.
That's your CFAX News to 6:06. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question we're asking, how focused were you on your recycling efforts last year? 71% say a lot, 18% a little, and 11% not at all. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app and Twitter X. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:07.
Thank you, Lisa, and good morning. Welcome to Thursday. It is 13 degrees or thereabouts in Victoria right now. As we head towards a sunny day, we'll get you a full forecast in just a moment. Right now, over to the sports. Hey, really cool thing happened. This is neat. At the Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship, the Victoria Bulldogs, so the local collection of players, faced Quebec's Diamond Baseball Academy in the deciding game of the championship series, and it was going on at Layers Park yesterday. We had some texters telling us about this yesterday. So in the end, Victoria wins.
Right on.
5-2. Takes the series against the Quebec team 2-1, and with that win, the Victoria Bulldogs become the first ever Vancouver Island team to earn a berth at the Intermediate Little League World Series, which is going on in California.
When do they go? Do we know?
Like immediately. The tournament's happening August 2nd to the 9th. So I don't know exactly when they're getting on a plane, but this is just a few days away.
That is super cool.
How neat is that? So yeah, first time ever that a Vancouver Island team is qualified for this big tournament. So congratulations.
So they're going to have like Macklin Celebrini contracts coming their way soon enough. Yeah.
And as we learned, some texters were letting us know these kids are like, 13-ish in that range.
Yeah. Well, that's so exciting for them.
Well, congratulations to the Victoria Bulldogs and all the players and parents and everybody involved there. Elsewhere in baseball, Victoria Harbour Cats beat the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2 yesterday as those two teams faced off for the second of 3 games this week. There are only 2 home games left in the 2026 regular season, including the big finale of this Port Angeles Lefties series, which is tonight. And then on Monday, it's the big final fireworks show and fan appreciation night. In the majors, the Blue Jays coming off a 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals to take that series 2-1. Toronto is 5.5 games out of a wild card spot, with Major League Baseball's trade deadline looming on Monday. And also in the majors, Seattle Mariners losing 4-2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And hey, it's a football night on CFAX tonight. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers hosting the BC Lions in the CFL, with the Lions starting Caden Salter at quarterback in place of injured Nathan Rourke. Winnipeg's record is 4-3. BC is 1-5 in the West Division. The game is live on CFAX. The kickoff is at 5:30. And that's your sports to 6:09. Hey, it's 6:10 on this Thursday in Victoria. What's going on the roads? No crashes or accidents to report right now. If you see anything, you can let me know at 7:10:10. Some BC Ferry updates. 7 o'clock sailing coming up. Lots of room left. No sailing waits right now, so things are looking good to start the day. I will say again that we got a 4 o'clock sailing that's full. The 5 o'clock sailing's 95% full. It's the same as it's been all this week, where the later afternoon and evening sailings are very heavily reserved as everybody starts to get out of town for the long weekend, getting ahead of it all. So watch it for a busy afternoon. But right now, it's all looking good at BC Ferries. For the weather forecast, so I've been talking about how sunshine's on the way today. Highs of 20, maybe a little cooler by the water, maybe a little breezy by the water too. A few clouds tonight, lows to 13 tomorrow. Sunny for the most part, highs of 23. But the periods of rain that we're expecting are going to come in maybe Friday evening or night somewhere. We'll see rain through Saturday. Then for Sunday, clear again, and the sun shines out. For BC Day Monday, it's sunny and getting warmer. 25 degrees than the temperature, and we'll see that become a bit of a trend heading into early next week at least, with sunshine and temperatures in the mid-20s. So kind of warming up a little bit as we get into next week, which is great. It's one of those weeks that a lot of people take off because it's the long weekend week. For the temperatures right now, we're looking at 14 degrees at the Victoria International Airport. In Oak Bay, it is 13 degrees. North American stock markets opening a little later this hour, so while we await today's first results, let's look at how yesterday closed with Aaron Sousa.
Canada's main stock index dropped yesterday. Toronto's S&P TSX falling 415 points to 35,333. In New York, the Dow plunged over 1,100 points. The Nasdaq slid by 433. In Tokyo this morning, the Nikkei rose by 433 points, and the Hang Seng in Hong Kong was up 50 points. Our dollar is trading at 71.13 cents U.S. WestJet flight attendants could strike as early as this Sunday. Their union this morning gave 72-hour strike notice, saying both sides remain far apart on key issues. If no deal is reached, some flights could start to be grounded by tomorrow. Loblaw is set to release its second quarter results today. The grocer raised its dividend in the first quarter and has seen strong sales growth from its discount brands. And Australia's online safety watchdog is suing messaging app Telegram. It alleges the app has failed to remove extremist content. If convicted, the app faces a fine of up to $38 million U.S. From the Canadian Press Business Desk, I'm Aaron Sousa.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on this Thursday on CFAX 1070 as we get the day going. And, you know, you get those things in life where you go your whole life without hearing something or learning something that seems common. And you're like, how did I get this far in life without hearing that?
Happens every day.
Yeah, I get that all the time. But I just had another one because you were saying, hey, did you see the moon? Which is spectacular today.
Yeah, it's the full moon's beautiful.
It's full moon right now.
Right.
But you didn't just say, did you see the moon? You said something. You called the moon something.
I said it was the buck moon, and you thought I'd sworn at you early in the morning. I said, no, it's not like that.
Now, I didn't realize that this one had a name. I knew that there was a harvest moon, which is, I guess, specific.
Neil sang about it.
Specific to September, is that right?
The harvest moon is September 26th. That's still to come.
So I knew there was a harvest moon, but I didn't know the others had names too.
Well, did you remember Strawberry Moon? Because that's why we have the Strawberry Fest.
No,
huh?
See, I've missed all this somehow.
Don't you remember the snow, the worm moon not coming back to you?
None of this.
Well,
I've completely missed this.
It's kind of like the zodiac a little bit, but it's, there's a full moon for every time of the year, depending on what's going on in the world, right? So this is the buck moon.
Which I guess is because now I've had to go look it up. Now that you've mentioned this exists, I guess July is the time of year where the male bucks grow their antlers.
Yeah, the furry boys around town all sporting racks.
Right, so
you see them,
named
right?
after them.
Sometimes they have volleyball nets in them. Sometimes they have gardening nets in them. There's a lot of that going around on Facebook right now. How do I get this gardening net out of the buck's antlers?
Yeah, there you go.
But yes, it's the buck moon.
Okay.
Which was large in the sky. Now that the sun is up, you won't see it as much. It was quite spectacular going over the Blue Bridge and watching it shine through where the blue hue was. Gorgeous right across the water. It was very light outside today as a result. It represents determination, progress, and growth. So take that as you will.
And I was looking ahead because I didn't realize there were a bunch of these.
No.
Next month in August?
Yep.
It's the sturgeon moon.
Right.
After the fish.
Yes. Which, is has been around for a while, knows more than us. So that one's about release, perseverance, strength, and breakthroughs.
And I guess also named for fishing for sturgeon.
Yes.
At that time of year.
And then the harvest moon happens September 26th. So that one's gratitude, reflection, introspection, and balance. Yeah, it's just all general things throughout the course of our lives we could use a little bit more of. But yes, we still to come the hunter moon in October, the beaver moon in November, and then the cold moon, go figure, on December 23rd. But yes, there's 12 of these throughout the year, one for every month.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool. It's just kind of fun to give it a name versus, it's a full moon.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, we'll have that kind of moon with the blue moon, and it's a super moon, which we usually get more in the fall, and it just lights up the sky and fills up the skies. They're gorgeous. I mean, our skies are nice here on a good day. So when we have that happening, it just makes it even better.
I hope you had a chance to check out the cool moon, the buck moon. Right now it's time for the headlines, 6:16. Here's Lisa.
The other thing that's happening in the skies overhead, it's not WestJet. A union representing 4,400 flight attendants at the airline has issued 72-hour strike notice, so WestJet about to have its wings clipped. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says the airline issuing that strike lockout notice too. Well, giving notice of a strike does not mean flight attendants will hit the picket lines. 99% voted in agreement to a strike if the deal isn't reached, so chances are they're walking. WestJet has been allowing passengers with flights scheduled anytime between today and next week, August 4th, that's Tuesday, to make a one-time change or cancel with no fee, so you might want to act on that now. The union had said key issues include unpaid work for tasks such as ground duties, while WestJet said all duties are compensated through a credit hour system rather than an hourly rate. The airline says it operates more than 600 flights per day, carrying more than 70,000 passengers on some days. You could bet through the long weekend it's going to be busy, so this is maximum impact time. The Prime Minister is on the West Coast. He will be in Delta today for a tour of the Port of Vancouver. Mark Carney's visit comes weeks after Ottawa announced the Roberts Bank Terminal 2 expansion project will be referred to the Major Projects Office. Last night, Carney was at a North Vancouver pub in support of his former Deputy Chief of Staff, Braden Cayley, who is now seeking a seat in Parliament in the by-election, that one in the riding of North Vancouver-Capilano next month. It's one of 3 by-elections happening. And Transport Minister Steve McKinnon says locomotive assembly is returning to Canada. He announced plans yesterday to spend $1.6 billion to replace 45 of Via Rail's aging locomotives. He says another $357 million will go towards building the new assembly and maintenance facility in Montreal. The locomotives are expected to be the first hybrid trains in North America. And that is your news to 6:18.
Hey, CFAX traffic and weather coming up. And then, hey, we got an early morning guest. The leader of the federal NDP, Avi Lewis, is standing by to join us in just a couple of minutes. This after a new Angus Reid poll. Some of the latest political polling is suggesting the NDP is getting a bit of a boost in popularity because of a particular issue. We'll tell you what that is and how it's affecting the NDP next. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Texter with a great tip here. Good morning, Ryan and Lisa, says the texter. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up that there will be single-lane alternating traffic on Burnside Road East between Carroll Street and Washington Avenue starting at 7. Yeah, this is a thing. It's going to be happening today and for a few days. They're doing some concrete median and electrical work at the intersection.
Okay.
So that's going to be going on until August 7th, at least is the schedule. So watch out for that, causing single-lane alternating traffic today. For the weather forecast, looking at a sunny day, temperatures around 20 degrees, a bit cooler by the water. Few clouds tonight, lows to 13. Sunshine for Friday. We get that rain on Saturday, but Sunday, Monday of the BC Day long weekend, looking sunny again.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, there's some new polling out that is suggesting the climate change issue is starting to become a bit of an issue for the federal government, and the people who are starting to get turned away from the Mark Carney government because of that issue are turning towards the federal NDP, who might be getting a boost in popularity over this. This is some latest data from an Angus Reid poll. Here to talk about it, Avi Lewis is the leader of the federal NDP. It's a pleasure to get him on the radio this morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, Ryan. Great to be with you today. I'm in the Eastern time zone, so my eyes aren't bleeding from the 6 a.m. call.
This is the nice thing.
I'll be home in a couple days.
I actually really enjoy talking to federal politicians because half the time you guys are in Ottawa, and it's an easy time change for you guys.
There you go. But no, I'm a British Columbian through and through, so it's good to be home at least on the radio.
There you go. Well, great to have you here. Now, I thought this was interesting because there's a couple of things going on. One, we've had kind of this Mark Carney liberal honeymoon that lasted maybe longer than some federal governments get when they first come in, and we were kind of wondering when would things start to sour a little bit, and maybe we're seeing a bit of that. But it's interesting, the issue that it's on. It's the climate change issue. People who are concerned about that seem to be getting a little disillusioned, at least according to this poll, and the data found that the top issue for about 21% of Canadians is now climate change. The last time they did this, it was 14% of Canadians found that one of their big issues. So more and more people are starting to identify that as an issue that's of concern. And I guess if you are concerned about it, the federal liberals are leaving people wanting. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a little bit. First of all, I hate those polls when you got to choose what's your top issue.
Right.
My top issue is they're all combined. That's my top issue. I think people are still concerned about the ridiculous cost of food and groceries and rent and mortgages, and the cost of living is still the top concern. But these things are all related. People are worried about Donald Trump stomping around the world starting wars that he can't figure out how to end, and what that does to the price at the pump and the price of food. And in the middle of this, we're back in smoke season, which we used to call summer. And people all over the world, I mean, the heat waves and fires in Europe have killed thousands of people already this year. And we're having one of the worst smoke seasons ever in Canada again. And every summer now we have to brace for that. So climate change doesn't rank super high as a concern when you force people to choose between issues. But it's in our lungs every summer, and we know that it's happening. And it's destabilizing the world, along with the wars for the oil. That is the fundamental source of it. We have to go back to basics sometimes and be like, yes, things are getting hotter and drier. We're in a prolonged drought in a lot of British Columbia. I live on the Sunshine Coast, where a few years ago the hospital was 7 days from running out of water completely in a stage 5 water restrictions, right? And we've got these are the conditions that we now live in. It's getting worse, not better. And it's linked to all these other things. So, yeah, it's a scary world out there. But what we're actually seeing around the world, Ryan, is that this war, particularly the war on Iran and the spiking price of oil, has got countries moving away from fossil fuels fast. And, for example, in Europe, EV sales are up 50% from a year ago. Last year on planet Earth, 99% of all new electricity generation was renewable energy. So in 3 years, California has installed as much battery storage as a dozen nuclear power plants, and they're using 60% less natural gas this year in California than 3 years ago. So the world is moving on. And Canada, under Mark Carney, is doubling down on gas, on pipelines from Alberta to our province, and giving an industry that's going to make $90 billion in wartime profits this year, the oil and gas industry in Canada, a gift of another $50 billion plus pipeline from the oil sands to our coast. And we're going to pay for at least 90% of it. So Canadians are starting to go like, I know we were scared of Trump last year during the elections, and I know Carney is a smart guy and he seems like a good kind of person to deal with all that Trump stuff. But like, did we vote for this? Did we vote for doubling down on oil and gas in a time when the climate is coming apart? Did we vote for giving the billionaire class and the wealthiest industry in our country tens of billions of dollars of our taxpayer money? I don't think we did. And so this is what you're starting to see in the polls, is that progressive wing of the Liberal Party starting to peel off and come back to us at the NDP, because we're actually saying we need to tax wealth in this country. We need billionaires to pay their share. We need industries like oil and gas we need a government with the courage to go and get some of that $90 billion in wartime profit and plow it into things that would actually make people's lives, daily lives, easier and better, like solutions to the housing crisis, solutions to the cost of food, and things like actually fixing our healthcare system rather than buying like submarines and pipelines. So I think there's like choices in politics, and I think that this might be the beginning of buyer's remorse for people who voted for Carney out of fear of Trump and are now starting to see they're maybe getting something a little different than what they thought.
Abby, I understand what you're saying about choosing apples and oranges when it comes to polls like this, because there's so many things that are on our plate that we have to deal with all at once. But when it comes to finding power sources, what's your solution? Because we look at the building of AI and the amount of natural resources that could possibly suck, and we don't want to get behind the eight ball with AI when other countries are building like crazy, including Scandinavian countries like Finland, for example. What's your solution for something, what's other than oil?
Well, first of all, like this is another one where we tend to think of it in binary terms. And the truth is that what the world is going through is an energy transition. And, like the fact that 99% of new power generation, new electricity generation on planet Earth last year was met with renewables, solar and wind, tells us that countries from China and elsewhere in Asia to Europe in a big way, to basically everyone but Canada and the United States, is starting to make the transition. Of course, it will be a transition. I would like to see it a faster transition. Other people want to take it more slowly, but it's not either oil or solar tomorrow. And this is what we always get as soon as we start talking about renewables, which the world is moving to in a big, big way. Everybody's like, you're shutting down the oil sands tomorrow. We never say that. Oil and gas workers have kept the lights on in our country for more than 100 years, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. But the truth is that these are low-tech sources of energy where the inputs are free forever. And that is why we have an oil lobby in Canada that's extremely powerful. You see the oil industry talking points in the MOU between Ottawa and Danielle Smith. You see the oil industry talking points. Their fingerprints are all over our energy policy, and we're buying them another. Remember, we just finished building the TMX pipeline less than 2 years ago, and now we're buying them another one. And it's like, this is bonkers, guys. Come on. This is the richest industry we've got. They could pay for their own infrastructure. And if they're not, and I would like to see, if the government's going to be actually subsidizing industries, to subsidize those industries of the future and not of like the 19th century. And the reason that we don't have a massive pressure on the government for solar and wind is because they're never going to make as much money as oil, because the inputs are free forever, right? Like, you don't have to dig up a barrel of sunlight, burn it, and then go dig up another barrel of sunlight. Sun's free forever. Wind's free forever. We just don't have the money-making potential in renewable energy. And that's why we don't hear about them every single day from a powerful lobby group and all of its different mouthpieces. But that's should be a clue to us that it is a much more affordable, safe, and obviously with the climate breaking down, as we see all around us in a coastal province like ours, and in wildfire season, we got to do something, and we got to get started. And I think that the governments are captured by this very powerful and wealthy industry. And I think Canadians didn't expect that they were going to get an oil industry dominance from Mark Carney because he was supposed to be a climate guy.
Yeah, again, maybe a bit of a surprise for some voters. And 1 in 6 people who voted Liberal in the past federal election told pollsters in this latest poll that they would now support the NDP. Also, the number of people identifying climate change as their top issue has grown in the last few months as well, according to these polls. And that's why we're talking to the federal NDP leader, Avi Lewis. But we're right at a time. Thank you so much for joining us and weighing in. I hope we can talk more about it later.
Love to talk to you guys. Thanks, and have a beautiful day, all right?
All right, cheers.
Watch that traffic. It's mean today.
Yeah, look out for that single-lane alternating traffic on Burnside. We'll keep you posted. All right.
Right on.
Cheers.
Take care, guys.
All right. Lisa, thank you for letting me take a little time from the news there as we continue to talk to the federal NDP leader, but we'll get into that now. We'll take our quick break. Lisa with the news next.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going up.
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch. CFAX Victoria,
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 6:34 on this Thursday, July 30th. Get right to the news. Here's Lisa Best.
Heading out for the long weekend, you can't have a campfire if you're camping for obvious reasons. BC Premier David Eby urging you to exercise extreme caution due to the current wildfire risk. Now, maybe a little damper here on Vancouver Island. We've gotten away from the bulk of the fires so far this year with only 3 fires burning. They're either under control or considered being held, but it is not the same situation as we know through the rest of the province. He says some of the people in the Clinton Village area would be returning to burned homes and businesses as local officials confirm damage from that surging massive Pear Lake wildfire. Other residents forced to flee are waiting for news to see if it's safe to go home or if they have a home.
Parts of the province have never been drier than they are right now, especially in the southeast of the province. And so extreme caution, please. Your one act could impact people's lives forever.
BC wildfire update as of this hour. We have 129 fires burning in the province, 50 considered out of control. There's been 9 new starts in just the last 24 hours. Next door in Alberta, sadness in Calgary and shock after an 11-year-old boy with autism was found dead nearly 2 weeks after he disappeared.
Police say Parker was found in a narrow concrete water pipe underneath Deerfoot Trail, the southern Alberta city's major north-south expressway. They say the boy may have wandered into a culvert, then almost 150 meters deep into the labyrinth of pipes. Sergeant Rich Wall was there.
We are very deflated in the fact that we couldn't find him alive, but relieved that we've brought him home.
The days-long search for Parker has raised questions on alerting the public when vulnerable children disappear. Already one group, the National Autism Network, says emergency alert systems, among other things, need urgent change. Aaron Sousa, the Canadian Press.
And ahead of a visit to the Port of Vancouver and Delta, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith announcing a new joint program they say will speed up house building in that province. Speaking in Red Deer, Smith said the agreement protects provincial jurisdictions, builds on strong provincial records of investments, water and wastewater infrastructure, and gives her province the ability to direct funding where it's needed most.
Our government will identify and prioritize projects based on local needs, ensuring that municipalities, rural communities, and Indigenous communities can access the infrastructure funding that they need to maintain existing systems and support housing growth and economic development.
Smith says Alberta contribute a minimum of 1/3 of eligible project costs, led by municipal government, and locking up to $428 million in provincial funding for the qualifying projects. That's your news to 6:37. Here's CFAX 1070 news poll question. We're asking how focused you were on recycling efforts last year. 71% say a lot, 18% a little, and 11% not at all. You can vote at CFAX1070.com. Also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:38.
Thank you, Lisa. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps for a comfortable home no matter the season. Big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. Designed for comfort, the South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. Let's talk CFAX 1070 sports now, where we have in the majors, the Blue Jays coming off a 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals to take that series 2-1. Toronto 5.5 games out of a wild card spot. As we get out of that game yesterday, they're off today. And the Seattle Mariners lost 4-2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. In local sports, really cool thing, there was the Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship happening locally. And the Victoria Bulldogs have emerged victorious, which means they are going to go to represent Canada at a 12-team tournament, the Little League World Series going on in California in a few days. They did this by beating the Quebec Diamond Baseball Academy 5-2 at Leyritz Park yesterday. With that, they won the series and won the tournament. So congratulations to the Victoria Bulldogs Little League team. Victoria Harbour Cats, meanwhile, beat the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2 as those two teams faced off for the second of 3 games. They got one more coming up tonight. And then after tonight's game, there'll only be one more home game of the regular season for the Harbour Cats at Royal Athletic Park, and that's going to be coming up on Monday with their fireworks and the Fan Appreciation Night. It's a CFL football game on CFAX tonight with the BC Lions taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the road. Winnipeg's record is 4-3. BC's got a 1-5 record in the West Division, and that game will have the kickoff at 5:30 live right here on radio, CFAX 1070.
Morning Show with Tony Joe.
Everyone wants to know about real estate. Is the market going up or down? Time to buy or sell? How can government programs and policies affect you? Hear from local experts on topics like appraisal, inspection, investment, and others on how to maximize your real estate sale.
Providing info on everything you needed to know about real estate. The Whole Home Show with Tony Joe. Saturdays at noon on CFAX 1070.
Right now at Borden Mercantile, oven-baked dog and cat food is on sale. Buy one, get one free on canned food and treats. Borden Mercantile on Borden Street near Quadra and Mackenzie.
CFAX 1070 traffic. Watch out for road work today, which is happening on Burnside Road from Washington Avenue to, where was that? Kind of Washington to Burnside. Scratch that. Let me take that again. So it's going to be Burnside Road and Washington Avenue. It's actually the intersection I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to be going on for a few days. In fact, single lane alternating traffic as they do some work there, some concrete pouring and other upgrades. For BC Ferries, no sailing rates right now. 7 o'clock sailing from Swartz Bay to Swassen is about 80% full. Still some room left. There are a lot of reservations ahead on the day. Many of our sailings are around about 90% full already with reservations. The 4 o'clock sailing is already completely full. So that's the situation we're getting into today as we get busier and busier heading towards that long weekend. What's the weather look like? Well, sunny today, highs of 20. Few clouds tonight, lows to 13. Sunshine again tomorrow, highs of 23. Might even be a little humid tomorrow, so it could feel a little warmer. But then the change, the rain that we're expecting might actually begin sometime Friday night, lasting through Saturday, periods of rain. It clears up, though, for the back half of the BC Day long weekend, Sunday and Monday, looking like they get sunny again with temperatures by Monday up into the mid-20s. On the markets, we're waiting for the first results from today with North American stock markets having their bells just ringing. But yesterday, big drops for most of our North American stock markets. S&P TSX giving back 415 points to 35,333. The Dow was down 1,153 to 51,594. The NASDAQ dropped 433 to 24,442. Canadian dollar at 71.3 cents US, which was a bit of a gain from the previous day.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, we were just wrapping up a conversation with the federal NDP leader, Avi Lewis, who joined us a little earlier. He was talking about the fact that there's some Angus Reid polling, which is suggesting more people in Canada are starting to identify climate change issues as their kind of top issue. And 1 in 6 people who voted for the Mark Carney Liberals are now saying they would change their vote to the NDP, and that seems to be one of the driving issues. So we were talking to him about that. Texter here at 71010 wanted to react to that conversation. This texter says, "Good morning. I am a former NDP and Green voter. I voted Liberal last election knowing Mark Carney would do some things I didn't agree with. I don't regret my vote. Based on the current Canadian federal party leaders and Trump being in the White House, I will vote Liberal next election. I firmly believe our economy comes first, then our armed forces, and then our environment. Trump is the sole reason for my change of heart. If Americans can elect Trump twice, then they can certainly elect somebody just like him a third time, and we must be prepared." Thank you so much for letting us know your thoughts at 71010. We have another text here, which is on a different topic. Texter at 71010 says, "There were so many volunteers in the beginning of the David Foster Foundation that led to its longevity," talking about the fact that we've got the big David Foster Foundation event happening pretty soon.
Sure do, next weekend.
And we are going to be talking about that coming up later in the show. I'm excited that we're at 7:20 this morning, so just kind of coming up after your news and everything.
Shortly, yeah.
We're going to be talking to Mike Ravenhill, CEO of the David Foster Foundation.
Wonderful.
They've announced some more performers.
Oh.
I think Mr. Nickelback himself, Chad Kruger, might be coming to town.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he still in Alberta or is he living in LA now?
That's
they
a good
sing a lot
question.
about LA.
That's a good question.
Nickelback.
Well, that's some of the news we've just been learning.
That's exciting.
Some new talent that we've been learning about. We're going to learn more about that coming up in just a moment. Right now, though, time for the news, and here's Lisa.
Thank you. News conference planned for 8 this morning. That will be at the McLaughlin Point Wastewater Treatment Plant on Victoria View Road. Victoria MP Will Graves, Esquimalt, Colwood MLA Darlene Rochford, the Union of BC Municipalities First VP Jenna Stoner will be joining CRD Chair Cliff McNeil-Smith, who's also the Mayor of Sydney, for a special announcement. We'll bring you details of that as it becomes available. The U.S. has launched another round of airstrikes in Iran. U.S. Central Command said last night the strikes were in response to Tuesday's Iranian attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. Last night's attack on Iran, those strikes came as the U.S. president told reporters that the U.S. would be hitting Iran hard. In health news, researchers have found a way to treat cavities that avoids drilling at the dentist's office, something none of us really want to sign on for. A University of Michigan study found that a liquid brushed onto cavities actually stops tooth decay in more than half the cases with baby teeth. The liquid, called silver diamine fluoride, has been used in other countries, but officials here so far not completed trials proving safety and effectiveness up until this point. Tooth decay impacts about 40% of children. And checking the wildfire situation overseas in Europe, France has now allowed 84,000 evacuees to return home after a massive wildfire forced them out of home. This marks progress in the fight against the flames, which have burned an area now 4 times the size of Paris. However, fires continue to flare up across Europe in the heat. Earlier today, firefighters battling blazes in the UK, Spain, Germany, and Turkey. In southwest France, 224,000 people have still had to evacuate. The region across Bordeaux, nearly 2/3 of evacuees can return. So it's back and forth depending on the situation where it is in Europe, but it's still quite bad for fires there. That is your news to 647.
Thank you, Lisa. We'll take a quick break here. We got your traffic and weather in just a moment. Lots to come. Stay with us.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island.
Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harbourcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Heading out on a summer road trip? Shop at Thrifty Foods and swipe your Scene Plus card to save up to 15 cents per liter at Shell. See you in store for details. What's going on the roads? I'll just say it again. We've got single-lane alternating traffic affecting things on Burnside of Washington today. Some work will continue there for a few days. This isn't just today. It's going to be going on for a little bit. For the weather forecast today, looking at a sunny day. Highs up to about 20 degrees. Could be a bit cooler on the water side of things, where the wind will be blowing a bit today. A few clouds tonight, lows to 13. Tomorrow, sunshine and a high of 23, maybe even feeling warmer with a bit of humidity in the air. And eventually that humidity leads us to rain. By Friday night, actually, it's going to start to rain. Periods of rain through Saturday. Doesn't last long. Sunday and Monday we'll get sunny again, and by Monday we're up to a high of 25 degrees. Right now at the airport we're sitting at 14.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
Thanks for joining us. Lisa, you were recently shopping and you saw something. You saw
I
something.
see many things when I'm shopping. Usually it's the sticker price in the produce
Right.
section. But yeah, you go shopping and you come up with things that you just, I don't know about that. Like, for example, when you find sunscreen.
Okay.
That is 110% coverage.
Oh.
How's that possible?
I usually go with a 60.
That's good enough, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, scientists say, the researchers have said that above 60, it doesn't really make much of a dent. But how can you give 110% is my question.
Is that just advertising?
Oh, you think?
This one's 1,000.
It's marketing, right? Yeah, this is going to protect. This is
Big
like a
numbers.
metal shield for your body. So here's another one. Shampoo and conditioner that is gluten-free.
What? Why does that matter?
Well, it doesn't. But, we glom onto these things and we're like, this must be better for me.
Now, is that a case of like there's never been gluten in your shampoo anyways, but they're just putting it on there just to make it look
because
good?
it's a new keyword, right?
Yeah, all right.
It's a new thing. It's like the new mineral or vitamin we're supposed to be. Remember when everybody was, ashwagandha is one of them, which it does have good properties. Ginkgo biloba, remember that one?
I love this, just saying all these words.
Right, we were hot on that for a long time. For quite a while, it was helping with our memory. It's not to say these things can't help us in some way, but still, the fact that marketing and commercialism is the way it is. So I'm going to hold this up for the camera for you, and hopefully you can see this here.
So this is something you saw shopping.
This is what I saw shopping when I was at Walmart. I'll name it for what it is. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up, and hopefully you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah, and it's not sunscreen.
Okay. So no,
it's not.
So I was going through to buy something else, and I ended up in the children's section. So hopefully that's coming up. So these are called emotional support pals.
It's French fries.
Well, that's it. That's it. So what kind of French fries they look like?
They look
Just
like
putting it out there.
It's stuffed animal French fries.
If you
with
were
a
to
face.
supersize those French fries, Okay, so they're French fries, red container. And yellow French fries, they're stuffies. They're little soft French fries.
Yeah.
And they all have different little faces on them. And they're considered your emotional support pals, your emotional support fries.
Why do we need emotional support fries?
I don't know why we need, but this is what they look like. And so this was at Walmart that I saw these. And I was kind of blown away because I thought, I don't treat food, and you shouldn't treat food, as an emotional support friend.
That's kind of an unhealthy habit,
Well, the fact that we're selling it to kids, right? And I get, so again, jumping on the bandwagon of something being, current and fashionable. So we had emotional support fries available for you. I didn't actually check the price because I didn't want to go too far down that hole, but they were not supersized. You only got 4 of those friends. So use them carefully and wisely as you need them. But this is geared to kids. So basically telling you your emotional support is going to come from food. On top of that, right beside there was emotional support nuggets.
Oh. Okay, so kind of leaning even heavier into this.
Yeah.
Now, I've brought this up as well. You were showing the picture.
You got it?
I'm Google searching.
Okay, good.
I will just counter by saying they are very cute.
Oh, they're super cute. They're super cute. I'm not sure about the message that they send. And I understand
see that.
what they were trying to do, but I'm not sure if it really resonates. It'll resonate with kids thinking that every time I have French fries, I feel better. Now, not to say I don't have an ice cream cone every once in a while, and I do feel better. A chocolate has qualities in it that makes us feel better. So, food can be a comfort thing, but I don't know. Anyway, the fact that there was nuggets as well, I thought was hilarious. So if you're interested in having emotional support French fries, you'll find them at Walmart.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying, though. Like, sometimes there's the subliminal message. Do you think it was on purpose? Do you think that they put this together just simply because, hey, French fries with a face would be cute and would sell, let's sell it? Or do you think there might be some sort of sense of like, hey, we think that
Trying to be a good corporate citizen?
We would like people to eat more French fries and nuggets, and maybe if we give them a cuddly creature that gives them a positive reaction to fries and nuggets, that maybe this is good for sales. I don't know.
I think you got it.
Yeah,
I think you
they're
got
doing
column A, column B, heavily into column B, which is it would, because it's making the connection that these French fries are going to make you feel better.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and catering to children. So this is in the children's section. I just thought it was very interesting. I've never seen emotional support French fries before. But like I said, if I was going to have some, they'd have to supersize them. Like,
Gotcha.
Don't
Yep.
waste my time.
That kind of
I need
idea,
more than
yeah.
4.
Right.
I don't know. Everyone has something that they go to. Right? Kids have blankies. Right? What did
Yeah.
your kids have to make themselves feel better? They're young boys.
Well, there was stuffed animals.
Okay, yeah.
So
It's
they
favorites.
were
They had
big.
favorites, yeah.
Although ours were more like lizards and dinosaurs and
'Cause they're
things.
boys.
Yeah. Less French fries, more
They
those
weren't
kind of
pink,
things.
cutie things. I'm not to say there's something pink, but yeah, they weren't. Yeah, okay.
I actually recently,
Dinosaurs and boys.
I say recently, within the last few years, I got back mine.
What?
From my parents. They found there was this little
Really?
ridiculous stuffed dog head with these floppy ears that I used to remember.
Well worn?
I would run my fingers along the ears as like a baby. I have this vague memory of it. And they
You
found
do?
it.
Okay.
And they gave it to me. So it's actually sitting beside my bed right now.
And how did it make you feel when you found it?
Well, yeah, it just sort of brought it. It was funny. It was this like lightning bolt of memory. It took me back to being like an infant and, barely remembering anything. All your memories are very foggy from back
Of
then.
course. But the emotion is there, though.
Yeah.
The memories are foggy, but the emotion is very strong.
Yeah, which again kind of ties into what you're saying, like which is maybe not a great thing if the thing you're tying those memories and emotions
Is
to
junk food?
is junk food.
Right.
Yeah.
But so, okay, well, that's really interesting. And so do you have it then? You have it in your possession?
I do.
Do you have it with you now?
No,
Okay.
I don't have.
Just checking.
Don't worry,
Asking
I
for a friend.
Don't just carrying it with me. This is the only way I
Ryan's
get through my radio
Ryan's gone
days.
rogue on us.
Is my emotional support stuffed dog head from the 80s. Yeah. Anyways, texture at 71010 says there are emotional support pickles, ginger snaps, and potatoes, and they're all stuffed. So maybe this
I'm
is just the tip of the
learning
iceberg.
this. I'm just finding this. I just happened to be walking through Walmart and went, what?
Amazing.
So, okay, but I get it. I get it. Emotional support, having an emotional support potato, I don't know. But, you've got your little unicorn or your stuffed dinosaur or something. I get that. Whatever gets you through the day, no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
I just had a problem with French fries being my emotional support.
I see what you're saying. All right. Well, we'll think about that.
Tell us what you think and
Text
what
us.
do you use? Do you have a stuffy that you use for emotional support? Or maybe it's a 4-legged animal.
Yeah.
Like to hear that one too, because dogs and cats and any other animal, they're our friends.
We love it when you join the conversation at 71010. We'll take a break now, though, because we've got the news to 7 o'clock with Lisa. And we will have more on the big David Foster Gala stuff, which is coming up so soon, just a couple weekends away. We're going to be joined by the folks behind this just after the 7 o'clock news, traffic, weather, and all that.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7 o'clock on Thursday, July 30th. Sunshine on the way forward today. It's already clearing up as we speak. 14 degrees right now. Time for the news. Here's Lisa Best.
Thank you and good morning. Premier David Eby joining Coastal First Nation leaders in Prince Rupert yesterday to talk about the importance of the oil tanker ban. This after the deal with the federal government earlier this month that will keep heavy oil tankers off BC's pristine north coast. Marion Slett, president of the Coastal First Nations Great Bear Initiative, says it's an important win for her people and also for the environment.
We stand here today with the province to celebrate the fact that the North Coast will remain protected from the threat of an oil spill. We shared this when the announcement was made a few weeks ago, and we shared today that it is a good day for our people. It's a good day for our marine relatives and the over 400 species of fish that reside on the BC coast.
The moratorium prohibits oil tankers carrying more than 12,500 metric tons of crude oil or persistent oil products such as cargo from stopping, loading, or unloading at ports and marine installations in the area. Still in the water in a fashion, Liberal MPs blocking parliamentary hearings aimed at clarifying what Prime Minister Mark Carney's government promised the U.S. president in order to get the Gordie Howe International Bridge open to traffic. The House Committee on Government Operations estimates met yesterday at the request of the Tories to decide whether to hold hearings about a revenue-sharing agreement that convinced Washington to open the bridge this week. At a news conference in Red Deer, Alberta yesterday, Carney argued Canada has paid a fraction of the economic benefit that the bridge provides.
That's being pragmatic and moving forward. And we got a bridge that's open. We've got opportunities open. And terms of where we are as a country, we still have the lowest tariff rate of any country on an average basis.
The proposed agreement in principle says Canada will share half of net toll revenues with the U.S. for the next 15 years. That seemed to delay a 2012 agreement that would see Canada recover its costs from financing the construction of the bridge before sharing any revenues. The Trump administration carrying out a wave of strikes overnight, hitting dozens of targets in Iran.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who launched this war with the U.S., issuing this warning in an interview with our Lindsay Davis.
If Iran does strike Israel, how will you respond?
I think they'll make a terrible mistake and will respond very, very forcefully.
Netanyahu has also been less optimistic than President Trump that a deal with Iran could ultimately be reached.
We'll let you know what happens next. A New Brunswick politician going viral for delivering a speech in the provincial legislature with some unusual passages. Progressive Conservative MLA Bill Oliver appeared to read a few odd sentences in the June 9th speech that matched the type of language typically used by an artificial intelligence chatbot. Sarah Laframboise with the nonprofit group Evidence for Democracy says she's not too surprised.
Unfortunately, I think that politicians are using AI very commonly for things like speeches. And, you know, the key point with this particular example is the lack of human oversight.
In one instance in the speech, Oliver paused and said, quote, "Here's a more natural flowing version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points." And rising public outcry has some communities pulling the plug on automatic license plate readers. Still, more than 100,000 of the AI-powered cameras are tracking vehicles in 50 U.S. states.
Law enforcers who use the technology agree with Mark Nelson of the Oklahoma City Fraternal Order of Police.
This changes the game on how we're able to accomplish public safety.
But not universally in Los Angeles.
Until we can get those data, privacy, security, and sharing concerns ironed out.
The LAPD's Dean Gialama says the license reading cameras are being shut off.
And that's your news to 7:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question. How focused were you on your recycling efforts last year? 71% say a lot, 18% a little, and 11% say not at all. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or in the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, news time, 7:06.
Thank you, Lisa. Sunshine today, sunshine tomorrow, mostly until the rain starts to arrive sometime Friday night into Saturday. A full forecast to come. Right now to the sports. Hey, I got another one here. A texter says, good morning, Ryan and Lisa. I've got some more local sports for you. The Junior A Shamrocks are hosting the Coquitlam Adanacs at 4:30 this afternoon at the Q Center. And this will be game 2 of their best-of-7 league final. And Coquitlam won the first game as they continue on this series. So thank you very much, Texter, for letting us know. Yes, some Junior A Shamrock action coming up tonight. A couple of other local things. Victoria Harbour Cats baseball team beating the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2 yesterday as those two teams faced off for the second of 3 games. There will be one more tonight, Royal Athletic Park, for these two teams. And then at the Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship, which is going on at Layritz Park, the Victoria Bulldogs came out victorious in this whole tournament. So they beat the Quebec Diamond Baseball Academy in the deciding game of their series. It was a 5-2 win for Victoria, and with that, they take the series 2-1. And the Bulldogs now become the first ever Vancouver Island team to earn a berth at the Intermediate Little League World Series, which will be taking place in California in just a few days. They got to get going. Get out of here, guys. You got to get to California. Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays coming off a 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals to take their series 2-1. But Toronto still 5.5 games out of a wild card spot with the baseball trading deadline on Monday, too. Major League Baseball also yesterday, Seattle Mariners losing 4-2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's some CFL football right here on CFAX tonight. BC Lions are visiting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Lions will be starting Caden Salter as quarterback in place of the injured Nathan Rourke. And you can catch the game live on CFAX on the radio. The kickoff is at 5:30 today. That's your CFAX 1070 Sports. It is 7:08. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather at 7:09 for the roads today. One thing to watch for will be single lane traffic at Burnside Road and Washington Avenue, and it's going to be going on for a few days. The Capital Regional District and the City of Victoria together doing some concrete median and electrical work at the intersection there. So watch out for those delays. Like I said, not just today, it's also going to be going on until sometime next week, it looks like. For BC Ferries, 7 o'clock sailing did fill up. And they're also working on a mechanical issue on board, so I don't think it's left. It's sitting there full still as they try to deal with an issue. It's also just a very busy day at BC Ferries with heavy reservations all through the rest of the day. The 4 o'clock is already full again. Many vessels around about 90% full throughout the day. So if you're heading to BC Ferries, just be aware of the busy day that's shaping up. For the BC Ferry, the weather forecast is what I mean to say. Sunshine, highs of 20 today, a little cooler by the water. A few clouds tonight, lows to 13. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs of 23. A little humid as well, so it could be feeling a bit warmer tomorrow. But then periods of rain show up sometime Friday night. Periods of rain for Saturday as well. For Sunday and Monday, though, Monday's the holiday. We will get back to some sunshine, and temperatures on Monday will get up to about 25 degrees. Right now, it is 14 at the airport. Getting our first look at market numbers for North American stock markets after some big losses across the board yesterday. We're seeing some gains today. S&P TSX in Toronto up 97 to 35,431. The Dow is up 325 to 51,920. NASDAQ up 557 to 25,000 even. And the Canadian dollar at 71.4 cents US, which is up just a little bit from yesterday's close.
Let's get started.
Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Thanks so much for joining us here on Thursday. And before the news, we were talking about Lisa's shopping observations. You had a bunch of them from the store you were at recently. And one of them was you were kind of looking at a bottle of shampoo that proudly declared it was gluten-free.
Yeah, and I just learned something new that for celiacs, that can actually be a thing.
So it's not just a marketing ploy.
Well, sometimes you think so, but it depends on what you're dealing with, right? So I do appreciate people texting in saying that, no, this is, depending on what's in the ingredients, it can be something that can affect your skin as well. I had no idea. Yeah. So setting me straight. Thank you.
There was a texter, one of the texters said that sometimes, and I didn't know this, some shampoos will contain things like some
allergen things. And
where was it? Oats and wheat germ oil.
Right. And for celiac disease, it doesn't affect them all, but people's reaction to gluten can change over time. So, hey, what you're allergic to on the inside, I guess it can translate to the outside, which makes perfect sense. If it's an airborne or it's an allergen that gets on your skin, yeah. So, okay, that is a real thing. Thank you for letting us know because I had no idea.
I love the random things we learn as you go through the day. Just conversations with our listeners who always have this wealth of information.
Well, it's important to know where people are at.
Yeah, it's great.
Because I don't have celiac disease, so I understand some of it, but I didn't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
So now I get it.
Thank you for joining the conversation at 7:10:10. It's wonderful. Hey, Ryan and Lisa's meat draw is continuing.
Oh, yes. We got numbers coming.
Got this one again. I want to tell you again how this works because we're going to be doing it coming up around 8 o'clock.
Hold your number.
It's the Glenwood Meats meat draw. We will pick a number. Well, actually, we'll pull it out of the proverbial ball machine.
Sure.
Coming up just after 8. So right after you're done your news, we'll draw the number. After the number is drawn, between 1 and 100, that is when we want you to text us at 7:10:10. We'll start looking at the text at that point. So from the draw onwards, we will wait to find the correct number between 1 and 100, and we'll call them. So if you're the first one to text us the right number, make a guess between 1 and 100.
Yeah.
And if you're the first one to get the number right, we call you, and we give you $100 to Glenwood Meats because you've won the meat draw.
This is about timing and luck. Go figure.
Yeah. So I appreciate the enthusiasm with folks texting their numbers in already, but just hold off. We're going to start taking the numbers once the draw is complete.
Okay, that's 8-ish.
Around 8, just after your news. We'll pull the ball out of the machine and go from there.
Fine. It can happen again. Yes.
Another texter is just weighing in on sunscreen because you were mentioning the
110%.
Yeah. So texter says, "Hey, I tried that 110 sunscreen a couple of times. I have never been so itchy." Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're see-through now.
Yeah. Or just you've never had such a pale complexion.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Vampire-ish.
We're going to talk more about the Foster Foundation and the big David Foster performances that will be taking place in Victoria, not this weekend, but next weekend. We've had some updates, including some more performers announced.
So exciting.
We're going to talk to them. Mike Ravenhill is the CEO of the David Foster Foundation. He's joining us in just about 5 minutes' time. So don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it, but right now it's time for the news with Lisa.
Turbulence in the air. The Canadian Union of Public Employees said the 4,400 flight attendants at WestJet that voted 99% in favor of a strike if a deal wasn't hammered out, well, they could walk as soon as Sunday. Citing the two sides remain far apart on key issues, the union issuing the 72-hour strike notice. The second largest air carrier in Canada that can carry 70,000 passengers on a good day says it is still actively negotiating to try to hammer out a deal in the final hours. Should flight delays or cancellations occur, the airline says any passengers impacted will be refunded reaccommodated as applicable. But we all know that traveling over the August long weekend is hard enough. And if you're trying to get somewhere, this makes it much more difficult. The U.S. and Iran each firing a barrage of missiles Thursday as the pattern of back and forth strikes took hold again, and hope dim for any quick resolution to this months-long war. After a brief respite, the risk of the return of all-out war was emerged once again, with the fighting threatening to engulf even more countries. Jordan says today it intercepted Iranian missiles for the second consecutive day, while Kuwait said a strike in the northern part of the country has killed one person. And back here at home, the BC Wildfire Services is very grateful the firefighters from Mexico are coming to join the fight against the flames here in the province. They'll arrive next week. 112 personnel will arrive on the 3rd, which is, next week on Monday. And 102 more will follow on Thursday. It says the Mexican contingents are highly trained, and they'll join firefighters on the ground immediately. About 130 wildfires are raging across the province. 50 of those are blazing out of control. And that is your news to 7:16.
Traffic and weather coming up in just a moment. If you got a traffic tip out there, text us at 71010, and then we're going to talk about the David Foster Foundation Gala and all the performances, all the special guests that are coming to Victoria in really not long. It's just a couple weekends away.
Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. Not this one, but next weekend. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Heading out on a summer road trip? Well, if you shop at Thrifty Foods and swipe your Scene Plus card to save up to 15 cents per liter at Shell, is going to help out. See store for details. CFAX at 70 traffic and weather. By the way, the whole morning show brought to you by Bluebird Cabs. Need a cab? Download the new Bluebird Cabs app. They're proudly local, Canadian-owned and run since 1946, and the app to find on the App Store is Bluebird Cabs LTD. You see the letters LTD there. For the roads, I'll just say it again, the major hiccup today is going to be the single-lane alternating traffic Burnside at Washington, kind of in the Rock Bay neighborhood there. Heading on that road, you will get to experience that for the next week as well, because they're going to be doing that for the next few days. Some concrete pouring and all that work is happening there. BC Ferries, so I'm watching the 7 o'clock sailing from Swartz Bay to Tsawwassen. It's a full sailing. It hasn't left yet, even though it was supposed to go 20 minutes ago. They're trying to fix a mechanical issue on board, they say. So a bit of a hiccup to start the day at BC Ferries. For the weather forecast, we are looking at a sunny day. Temperatures up to about 20 degrees, a little cooler by the water. Few clouds tonight, lows down to 13. Sunshine for tomorrow for most of the day, but into the evening, that's when the rain's going to arrive. And we'll see periods of rain through Saturday. Clears up for Sunday and Monday. That's a holiday Monday. Temperatures by Monday getting up to about 25 degrees. And our long range forecast looking into next week looks like it kind of stays there, sort of sunny with temperatures in the mid-20s. Could be how we get at least into mid next week. Just good news for all those folks taking a little bit of a vacation next week. It's a long weekend week. Often happens. Right now, the temperatures in Victoria, we're sitting at 14 at the Victoria International Airport.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, we're awaiting a call from Mike Ravenhill, CEO of the David Foster Foundation. I'm going to try to call him here, actually. Lisa?
Call him live, wake him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You.
That's not like Mike to sleep in.
I know exactly. Well, maybe I was.
He's
supposed to,
always.
I'm just gonna dial a phone number here. So just give me a second. Sorry.
But he's gonna give you a number and think he won the meat draw.
Yeah, don't worry.
You know it.
You haven't won the meat draw,
because I know Mike plays along at home.
Who doesn't?
Right. Okay.
Let's see if this works.
We're calling you, Mike.
I don't know.
Want to know about the concert next weekend?
There we go.
Uh-huh. One ring, two. Oh, dear.
The suspense is killing me, Lisa.
This isn't good. Mike doesn't let it go that many rings.
Hi, thank you for calling. Please leave your name and...
Oh, that might have been the wrong number. Maybe that's why he didn't pick up.
Live radio, folks. You just never know. He's not downstairs waiting to come in, is he?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's leave that behind for now.
Mike, call us if you're listening.
We'll try to get him up on the line a little later as we talk about because the Foster Foundation Gala is coming up, of course. This is not this weekend, but next weekend. We've got already coming... Here's some of the folks that are coming.
Yes.
Jay Leno, we heard.
Right.
Josh Groban.
Yes.
CeeLo Green.
Yes.
David Foster's wife, Catherine McPhee, who's a performer herself.
Yes.
So this is some of the names we've heard. I understand that they've been releasing a few more performers, so we've got a few more names out there. I'd heard that Nickelback's Chad Kroeger might be coming.
That's kind of cool. I was not expecting him. He was not on my bingo card.
Yeah. So let's see what we can find out. We'll try to get in touch with them a little later and see if we can... get that information out there.
Mike, if you're listening, call us.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, lots going on around town and lots going on in Canada, including this WestJet strike potential. Here's another thing we're following in the news.
Yeah.
The picket line may be an imminent destination for 4,400 flight attendants at WestJet. The union for the cabin crew of Canada's second largest airline issued 72-hour strike notice. They could walk off the job as early as Sunday morning. Now, as you know, I just was traveling. And
did you take WestJet?
I didn't. I was taking Air Canada, full disclosure. But I know that, all these airlines have been going through their different labor disruptions. And I remember buying the tickets months ago and just thinking, I just really hope I make it through the labor disruptions, because that really was a concern of mine. Like, what if...
You're not alone in that. Most people think that when they go to book a flight now, labor disruption is one of the things, because unless... you're covered by the airline, sometimes the insurance will not cover you for a labor dispute.
Yeah. So I know this was a big concern of mine, and I know there's a lot of folks out there who probably have flights, coming up.
Maximum impact, August long weekend. And that weekend, with so many people wanting to fly and travel.
Yeah.
And on a good day, you're looking at 70,000 passengers, some 600 flights that WestJet puts in the air.
Yeah. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says the two sides remain far apart on key issues like that groundwork issue that we've talked about, where they don't actually get paid until the flight moves, even though they do a bunch of work. So hopefully there's still time, though, for them to come to some kind of deal and avoid a strike. It's not a done deal yet, but yeah, they have issued the notice.
Is Mike flown in?
The phone just rang.
He's here.
Is this Mike Ravenhill?
It sure is.
Hey, so we're hoping you'd call. Great to get you here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, thanks. How are you guys?
I'm doing all right. No, we're really excited because we want to know. We got the Foster Foundation Gala and all the stuff coming up so soon now. And if I'm not mistaken, there's some more more news, more updates, maybe some more performers to talk about. What's going on?
Well, there's some exciting news. Our big event is our gala on the Friday night at the Victoria Convention Center. And we just are excited to announce that we have Adam Levine from Maroon 5, and we have Chad Kroeger from Nickelback joining David on the stage with CeeLo and Josh Groban. And, oh, my gosh, it's going to be an amazing night for our major fundraising gala. And then the next night, the Inner Harbor, it's going to be a night you don't want to miss. We have over 10 artists on the stage with David. And when David puts a show on, it's world class. And this one is going to be exactly that in a big way. So we've got David Foster, Catherine McPhee, Josh Groban, CeeLo Green, Pia Toscano from American Idol, Lauren Allred from The Greatest Showman, Shalea, international recording artist, amazing, Daniel Emmett from America's Got Talent, The Tenors, Sydney Christmas, who just won Britain's Got Talent, and then we've got a little bit of other entertainment. So we're going to go on the sea, on the land, and in the air. So our good friends at the Canadian Armed Forces are joining, and we'll have a flyover with the 410 Tactical Fighter F-18 Squadron. And we'll also have our good friends at the Canadian Forces Snowbirds joining us as well at the beginning of the evening as well. So that's a wonderful way to start the night, and then we go into a full concert, which will be magnificent. Anything that David does with entertainment is world class. So, and then we'll top it off at the end of the night with a light show that goes into a 400 drone show, and then into a fireworks all to music. So,
those drone shows are so cool.
Mike,
they are. They're a lot of fun. So.
I got to ask, are you serving breakfast? Because this sounds like a really long show.
This is going, yeah, let me tell you. You know what? Here's the thing. David wanted to come back to Victoria. It's our 40th anniversary of the foundation. It started in Victoria, and David said, look, we've got to come back, and we've got to thank Victoria and Canada as a whole for supporting us over these 40 years, and what better place to do it is back into our hometown. And so this will be an amazing concert. We've got so many people that have stepped up to help and support and to financially support it. You know, when you look at it, it's such a massive undertaking. And, you know, Greater Victoria Harbour Authority has been one of our great harbour partners to help us handle things and hold our hand through some of this, and Transport Canada and Victoria, City Victoria. And, you know, we've got barges moving all through the harbour and things like that, you know, Victoria Tug and Barge, amazing local company that just does so much to help the community, and they're just quiet and unassuming, but they've been amazingly helping Pomeroy and C-SPAN and our good friends at Coho, which are just an amazing company. They are letting us take the barges into their docks in between all of their regular scheduled trips so that we can load our barges. You know, it's going to be a big one. So, you know, it even goes as far as volunteers. There's over 100 volunteers that are going to be helping in this. And the University of Victoria men's soccer team is helping us, volunteering their time. And, you know, they're getting ready because the Nationals are here in Victoria this year. So these guys are great. They're just, they've hands up and said, what can we do? So it's really actually great to see Victoria all coming together, and we'll all celebrate 40 years of the David Foster Foundation, and no better way to do it than in our Inner Harbor.
Oh, that's so cool. And you mentioned, again, just some updates to the lineup. The gala on Friday, you said you got Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. And who was the other name you said is coming now?
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine.
That's
Maroon
big.
5.
That's so cool. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. And Josh Groban and CeeLo Green, and it'll be a big weekend in Victoria, that's for sure. And one of the things that I did want to say though is just for people that are coming down to the harbor, you know, be prepared. We expect there to be big crowds. We do have food trucks out there for everybody. We'll have washrooms, but there will be some street closures, and Belleville Street will be closed on Friday for us to prepare for it, and then parts of Government Street in front of the Empress Hotel, of course, on the night of, to keep everyone safe during the evening. So it's going to be an amazing, amazing weekend.
Now, and the logistics for people who want to go. So there's the Gala Friday, there's the Inner Harbor event on Saturday. Give people just the quick deets. How do you get to both of those if you can, and what times are we looking at?
Yeah, so the Friday night is it's almost sold out right now. That's at the Victoria Convention Center. If you want to see if there's tickets available, you can actually check on davidfosterfoundation.com, or you can call our office, and we'll be able to look see if there's any tickets still available on that one. That gets going at about 5:30 on Friday. And then the big one on Saturday will start at 7:30 in the Inner Harbor. And, check, there's a couple places you can check for all this information, Greater Victoria Harbour Authority, GVHA.ca, or you can go to Transport Canada Organized Events Notification, and there is also our foundation website as well. That'll give you all that information to be prepared before you come. And if you're coming on the water, I'd encourage you to watch and look at the organized events notification from Transport Canada.
And one last question, because we've had word recently that one of the groups that will not be able to attend is the Victoria Symphony. What happened with the Symphony?
Well, I think, at the end of the day, the unfortunate part is that the collective bargaining agreement was so stringent and it just, there was no flexibility. And unfortunately, it's Victoria's loss and the musicians' loss, but we were not able to come to any agreement there. And but it's not going to change. It's not going to change anything that the audience will see or hear, because we were only having a portion of the symphony. We weren't having all of the symphony. There were a select group of musicians that were going to be performing, but we couldn't come to agreement, and that was really unfortunate for all, actually. So anyways, it's all going to be an amazing night. It's going to be wonderful with what David has planned, and I can assure you it's a night that you won't want to miss.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge weekend for Victoria. It's not this weekend, but next weekend. The David Foster Foundation putting on this huge event. We got Mike Ravenhill, CEO of the David Foster Foundation, on the line. Hey, if anything else changes, you got any other updates or any more performers coming, let us know. We'd love to talk to you again, okay?
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Lisa. Have a great week.
See you next weekend.
There you go. Cool. That was so great. I'm glad he called because there's some good updates there.
We woke him up, I think.
That's okay. Well,
he's a busy guy.
It all worked out in the end, and we've got lots to talk about when it comes to this big event. I think Adam Levine and Chad Kroger, pretty big names to add to the event.
Absolutely. And the fact that it's a free event, on a long weekend, well, actually not a long weekend, the following weekend, but when families are off and you get to enjoy something that you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for, and this is world-class talent. And, it's outside. The weather's going to be fine. Sit on the lawn of the legislature, have a picnic, and enjoy.
Well, we've again been on a big story we wanted to stick with, so we're a little late for the news. So thank you, Lisa, for giving back to the conversation. We'll be back in just a moment with the 7:30 news.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660. CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7:35 on Thursday, July 30th. Let's get right to the news. And here is Lisa Best.
Going camping this weekend, can't have a fire. The ban is on for campfires, and rightfully so. The BC Wildfire Service says there's 129 fires burning, 50 considered out of control, mostly on the mainland, actually all on the mainland. 9 new starts in the last 24 hours. 3 fires burning on Vancouver Island are either in a being held status or under control, but we'd like to keep control on the fire situation here, so no campfires. The firesmoke.ca website is showing that the smoke again is moving away from us, smoke burning in Washington State and, of course, on the mainland, too, with over 50 fires out of control. So Vancouver Island today, anyways, you won't be worried about the smoke, the PM2, fine particulate matter smoke that's coming our way. We'll save it for another day. Saanich Police releasing more information on some egg-throwing suspects in hopes of tracking down any more victims. 8 weeks ago on the night of June 4, suspects in a black sedan spotted throwing eggs at vehicles and pedestrians in the area of interurban Marigold and Shelburne Mackenzie. The vehicle was located later that night and 4 people arrested. Investigators do believe, though, there may be additional victims. So if you had to get dry cleaning done, if you haven't contacted Saanich Police, they would like to hear from you. The future of policing in Esquimalt will be left to the next council to deal with. This from councillors in Esquimalt who say more work needs to be done on whether to stay with Victoria Police or adopt a different separate model as the current framework agreement rolls to an end. Mayor Barb Desjardins says the last report is a good one, but the reality is Esquimalt's costs are higher than other municipalities with their own police force. She says the work the current council has done will help the new council moving forward.
We have to leave it now for next council. But there's a lot of information there and there's a lot of history. And we are also at the end of our framework agreement at the end of this year. And so there's a number of challenges that new council will face right off the bat. But they have to understand the past in order to be able to move forward. It has been a challenge to make a change.
Esquimalt's bill for policing this year, around $11 million. And stateside, Dr. Anthony Fauci will face a contempt of Congress vote in a U.S. Senate committee next week. This after he invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times in a hearing yesterday about his handling the pandemic. Fauci declined to answer dozens of questions from various senators.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
His decision to not testify injected drama into the lingering tension between Fauci and Republican lawmakers over his handling the pandemic and the accusations that he lied about its origins, something Fauci continues to deny. That is your news to 7:38. Here's CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. We're asking you about recycling. How busy were you last year with that? How focused were you on those efforts? 70% say a lot, 18% say a little, and about 10% say not at all. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time, 7:39.
Thank you, Lisa. We've got sunshine and 14 degrees right now. Full forecast to come right now. Let's get over to the sports. Victoria Harbour Cats beating the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2. It was the second of 3 games for those two teams. They got one more tonight at Royal Athletic Park, Wilson's Group Stadium. There's still a few games. There's some road games for the Harbour Cats. But after tonight, the last home event is going to be Monday, August 3rd of the regular season. More to come after that. But Monday, by the way, will be the final fireworks show, the fan appreciation night. So lots going on when it comes to the Harbor Cats. Another cool local baseball story. At the Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship, the Victoria Bulldogs faced the Quebec Diamond Baseball Academy in the deciding game of their championship series. It was going on at Leyritz Park yesterday. Victoria won the game 5-2. With that, they took the series 2-1. And with that win, the Bulldogs become the first ever Vancouver Island team to earn a berth at the Intermediate Little League World Series, which is happening in California. They got to get there pretty soon, though, because that 12-team tournament starts in just a few days. August 2nd is the first day of the tournament. And in the majors, Blue Jays with a 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals yesterday. They take their series 2-1. Seattle Mariners losing 4-2 to the Dodgers. We've also got some local Shamrocks lacrosse. This is the Junior A level of the Shamrocks. They host the Coquitlam Adnacks 4:30 today at the Q Center in Game 2 of their best-of-7 league final. And the BC Lions in CFL action will be on CFAX 1070 tonight. BC Lions versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You'll hear it live here on CFAX with the kickoff at 5:30. That's your sports to 741.
Thinking about home renos, but the cost is too high? Think again. Explore affordable DIY options from ProTech Exterior Products at beahomepro.com.
CFAX activity, traffic, and weather. Hey, starting with BC Ferries, the 7 o'clock sailing from Swartz Bay to Tsawwassen did finally get underway just a few moments ago. They had a mechanical issue which delayed things, so watch to see how that ripples into the rest of the BC Ferry schedule. We might see a few things a little behind because of that. And it is a busy day at BC Ferries. The 4 o'clock sailing is full. A lot of the afternoon sailings are heavily reserved already, so watch out for that if you're taking BC Ferries today and you're not already reserved on one of those sailings. Burnside at Washington, single lane alternating traffic continuing today. A bit of a delay there right now because of that road work, which will continue into next week as well. For the weather forecast, it is a mainly sunny day today. Highs of 20, a little cooler by the water. A few clouds and a low of 13 tonight. Friday, sunshine and fairly warm temperatures. Highs of 23, a bit of humidity, a bit of mugginess in the air, making it feel maybe a couple of degrees even warmer than that. But then some rain is going to start sometime Friday night. Periods of rain through our Saturday to kick off the BC Day long weekend. But Sunday and Monday are looking sunny, with the temperatures by Monday climbing back up to about 25 as the high. Right now, here are the temperatures we're seeing. 14 degrees at the Victoria International Airport. On the markets, S&P TSX down about 40 points now on the day. We started with some gains, now into a slight loss to 35,292. The Dow Jones in New York, after huge losses yesterday, shedding over 1,000 points yesterday. At this point of the day, it's up 328 to 51,922. The NASDAQ is up 628 to 25,070. Canadian dollar at 70.1 cents US.
Don't attempt your morning commute without us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, we're getting close to the Ryan and Lisa meat draw.
I'm excited.
Don't text us your numbers yet. It's
Some
not time.
people already are doing it.
Yeah, right after the 8 o'clock news, we'll draw today's number out of the little proverbial ball machine.
Okay.
It'll be a number between 1 and 100. Once we've drawn the number, text us your guess. Just guess what number it is, and the first person to guess right will get a call from me, and we'll get $100 to Glenwood Meats. And we're going to do this again tomorrow at the same time as well, so a couple more chances to win the meat draw.
I like it.
That's coming up. Right now, though, it's time for the news. At 7:45, here's Lisa.
Thank you. Union representing 4,400 WestJet flight attendants has issued strike notice. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says the airline then issued their own lockout notice, so this isn't going well. While giving notice to the strike does not mean flight attendants will hit the picket lines, the strike vote was 99% in favor of walking if they can't hammer out a deal, so it looks like this is going to come to fruition. WestJet has been allowing passengers with flights scheduled anytime between today and August 4th to make a change, one-time change, or cancel with no fees. That's good. The union had said the key issues include unpaid work for tasks such as ground duties, while WestJet had said that all duties are compensated through a credit hour system rather than an hourly rate. The airline operates more than 600 flights per day, carrying more than 70,000 passengers on some days. You can bet over the August long weekend and into next week, which is a heavy travel time for the summer, this is going to leave a dent in many, many travel plans. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in BC today. He'll tour the Port of Vancouver in Delta. Carney's visit to the port comes weeks after the federal government announced that the Roberts Bank Terminal 2 expansion project will be referred to the Major Projects Office. His visit to BC follows a stop in Alberta first, where he announced more than $500 million in funding for infrastructure to support new housing in that province. Carney was in North Vancouver last night at a pub, supporting his former Deputy Chief of Staff, Braden Cayley, who's seeking a seat in Parliament now in the riding of North Vancouver-Capilano in next month's election. And that is your news to 746.
Well, as we've been sort of looking at during the traffic reports, BC Ferries very busy right now as we head towards this long weekend. We've got somebody from BC Ferries joining us in just a moment to talk about what we need to know if you're planning to get off the island ahead of the BC Day long weekend. Also, it's interesting because we got this little mechanical issue delaying one of the ferries. We'll see if we can find out more about that too. So that's coming up next. Then we're going to do the meat draw. It's coming. So everybody who's texting me numbers right now, we're not going to look at the numbers.
You're wasting your number.
It. We're not looking at the numbers until after we do the draw. It's anybody who gets the number right after we do the draw. That's when we're going to start to look at them. I just don't want you to feel let down.
Excited.
If you accidentally got the number right, but you texted us at 6 a.m. and we weren't looking at the numbers yet. So just hang on there. Okay, we are going to take a break, do our traffic and weather, talk to BC Ferries next.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Celebrate our coast at Cadboro Bay Festival, Sunday, August 9th from 11 to 3 p.m. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Time in Victoria is now 7:49. Let's just take a look at the general commute right off. It's fairly light out of the West Shore into Victoria. Not seeing the same kind of volume delays we were seeing yesterday. It was just, busy commuting day yesterday, but it seems to have lightened off right now. If you see otherwise, you can text me at 71010. We are seeing the slight delays around Burnside and Washington. That's because they're doing some road work there, which is going to go on next week as well. Some concrete pouring and other work. So watch out for the single-lane alternating traffic, Burnside at Washington. It is causing a bit of a slowdown in both directions right now. For BC Ferries, they finally got that 7 o'clock sailing underway. It was a little late for a mechanical issue, they say, but we will see how that affects the rest of the schedule. We might see a few of those sailings a little late rippling through. For the weather forecast, it is going to be a mainly sunny day, highs of 20 today, with right now the temperature 14 degrees.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Speaking of BC Ferries, we've been talking about this in traffic this week, that, the afternoon sailings, we're seeing a lot of sailing waits as we head towards this BC day-long weekend. I'm looking ahead, and I already see the 4 o'clock sailing is full right now. We got, 90% full on many of the afternoon sailings already with all the reservations. So let's talk about the fact that the BC day-long weekend is coming. BC Ferries are busy. So we got the Senior Communications Advisor with BC Ferries on Media Relations, Lillian Kim, joining us right now. Hello, how are you?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great to get you here. So this, when it comes to, long weekends and busy weekends for BC Ferries, how does BC Day Long Weekend stack up on the rankings of busyness?
So BC Day Long Weekend is historically our biggest long weekend of the year. Just to give you some context, last year our major routes carried 103,000 vehicles and just over 4,000 passengers over the same weekend. So we are seeing high demand this year.
So just to go over those numbers again, so 130,000 vehicles and over 400,000 passengers for last BC Day Long Weekend. How's this one shaping up? Is it looking busier or about the same?
So it's looking pretty busy. As you mentioned, advanced bookings for the peak sailings. So that's today, Friday, and Monday. And you'll see, especially for today and tomorrow as well, those sailings are largely sold out in terms of the advanced bookings. There are limited availability that remains on some of our early morning and later evening sailings. So customers without a reservation should prepare for sailing waits. One of the things that we do encourage, especially at this point, because they are largely sold out, for those who didn't make an advance booking, to consider walking on board, as it is the most flexible and reliable option during these travel periods. Generally, the walk-on passengers can board the preferred sailing without a reservation.
Yeah, it's very rare that you can't just walk on a ferry. Like, for the most part, you can get on that way.
That's correct.
Yeah.
If your travel plans are flexible and you have the ability to choose a less popular sailing time, that makes a huge difference.
What is a ferry completely reservable? Like, for vehicles, I'm talking again, because we just mentioned the foot passengers you can usually get on, but is a ferry able to be completely booked with reservations for the vehicles?
So there are space available in terms of a standby, but generally our vessels accommodate the advance booking. That's why we encourage people to consider that if that's possible for them. But especially to big periods, a wait is likely if you hadn't reserved a spot on vessels especially during the peak times. You can definitely try during earlier sailings or later in the evening. There might be more chance to get the sailing time that you want. That's really why we encourage people to make that reservation, just so that they can get their spot, especially during a busy long weekend.
All right, we're talking to Lillian Kim with BC Ferries, talking about the fact that it's a very busy long weekend coming. It's historically their busiest of them all. And I just want to reiterate the days you mentioned. So today, Friday, and then Monday, those are kind of the peak days?
That's correct. So many of the travelers definitely head they want to go today, tomorrow, and Monday as well. We do have it is quite busy on Saturday as well. But there is some availability if you go online to bferries.com. We have a site page there that's called Current Conditions, which is a great site. It shows you the availability and the updates of the sailings and the current conditions as well. So if you want to just check that out and see what's available during the long weekend, if they have the flexibility not to travel today or tomorrow, and maybe can wait till Saturday or Sunday, they can just look online and see what's available there, and hopefully catch a sailing that they prefer.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for giving us the heads up on the busy BC Ferries weekend. Lily and Kim, much appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
All right, there you go. And yeah, we are seeing it busy. It was just kind of weird all this week. We've been in the afternoon hours, seeing all those sailing weights through the day.
Yeah, and, fingers crossed nothing happens with mechanical issues. We already had a small thing this morning, but we understand that the boats are getting a good workout this weekend. So we hope the sailing, if you're on it, goes smoothly. And, of course, if you can book ahead, make a reservation, because it's just a surefire way to get where you need to go. Not be disappointed.
Yeah. Texter at 71010 says, once it was only 20% allowed to be booked. Yeah, it was different back in the day. That's why I asked the question, because I knew it used to be that there was a limit. But now I think, as we can see, the 4 o'clock sailing fully reserved, by this point in the morning. So they kind of allow a lot more reservations than they used to. It's a changing system at BC Ferries.
It has to be. So busy.
Hey, did you know that if you miss something that happens on our show, you can listen to Ryan and Lisa, the podcast, and catch up on everything? Like, we've had some fantastic conversations today. For those who missed it, we talked earlier this hour with Mike Ravenhill from the David Foster Foundation about the David Foster Foundation events that are taking place not this weekend, but next weekend. The Friday night, there's the big gala. The Saturday, there's the huge concert in the Inner Harbor that anybody's welcome to come down and attend. And he dropped a couple of new names on us for the gala night. He mentioned that Chad Kroeger from Nickelback is coming.
Yes.
And Adam Levine from Maroon 5 will be there as well.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so we got those updates out of this, and I wonder if there'll be any more surprises.
Oh, probably. Oh, they've got the military involved. I thought that was grand.
They got the snowbirds going across?
It's
yeah.
like, okay, so we've got 2 shots to see the snowbirds now, because we were expecting Tuesday was going to be one and done off Dallas Beach for the full show, but no.
Little
Boys are coming
flyby
back,
on Saturday over the Inner Harbor.
Fantastic.
I think this is going to be cool. And I had a text message here at 71010 who was really happy to have this going on in the harbor with, the Symphony Splash not happening, to have this going on, and you can take your boat in if you wanted to. It's going to be a neat moment that'll kind of, at least fill that space for Victoria.
It's great energy.
Yeah.
You go there and actually feel goosebumps sometimes when the music gets going. And the fact that there's going to be an air show as well and fireworks. Or drone show.
Yeah, the drone show. Yeah, he mentioned there's a big drone show.
So that's different again.
Yeah.
Because normally we're used to fireworks. So all very exciting. And this is next Saturday, starting at 7:30.
If you missed the conversation, listen to Ryan and Lisa, the podcast. You can catch up on that and all the things we talked about. The Ryan and Lisa Meat Draw from Glenwood Meats is coming up in just a moment. Right after the 8 o'clock news, we'll draw the number, and that is when you'll want to text us. Don't text now, because we're not looking at the numbers until after the draw in just a moment.
CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 8 o'clock on Thursday, July 30th. We're looking at some sunshine today, eventually a high of 20, 14 degrees right now. Full forecast to come, but right now the news begins, and here is Lisa Best.
Lots of migration for the August long weekend. If you're heading out to the wilderness, of course, you can't have a campfire. The ban is on, and for good reason. BC Premier David Eby urging people to be extremely cautious due to the current wildfire risk. Here on the island, we've done well so far. We have 3 fires burning. 2 are considered under control, the other being held. So far, so good here. But of course, the mainland is a different subject. 129 fires burning, 50 considered out of control. Many are threatening communities, including the village of Clinton. Premier David Eby says the Clinton area, some people would be returning home to burn homes and businesses. As local officials confirm, there has been damage due to the surging massive pear-like wildfire. Other residents forced to flee are waiting for news if it's safe to go home and if they have one.
Parts of the province have never been drier than they are right now, especially in the southeast of the province. And so extreme caution, please. Your one act could impact people's lives forever.
The smoke from all of these fires at this point, once again today, is moving either eastward, actually moving in a northeast pattern. This is smoke from Washington State, Oregon, and from the mainland into Alberta as well. So right now, today only on the firesmoke.ca website, it's showing that Vancouver Island won't be affected by the fine particulate matter. More than 210,000 net tons of residential packaging and paper products recycled through Recycle BC's province-wide recycling system went through the system in 2025. It's equivalent to filling well over 17,000 municipal recycling trucks. 99.6% of BC households have access to recycling service. That equates to 2.3 million homes across 207 communities. Now, 100% of glass, more than 99% of plastic, and more than 80% of metal was sent to recycling process within BC. 9 new recycling depots have opened across the province as well, including a new one in Souk. One of Canada's premiers is putting energy sanctions on the table as our trade war continues to ramp up with the U.S. CTV's Abigail Beeman says Susan Holt and Mark Carney don't actually see eye to eye.
New Brunswick's premier said her province's energy could be considered as a bargaining chip.
Have to be very strategic about how we use the leverage that we have. You need to walk softly and carry a big stick.
So when you're supplier of a key commodity, key service, you got to think really hard about not supplying.
In Alberta, the Prime Minister didn't seem keen to go there.
I don't see the value of doing. I mean, I can understand conceptually, but I don't see the value of it.
Canadian trade officials have been in Washington this week for further negotiations, though we haven't had any details, reports of progress, or who they actually met with. BC Premier David Eby was in Prince Rupert yesterday for meetings with coastal First Nations and North Coast municipal leaders. They held a joint news conference talking about the importance of keeping a ban on oil tanker traffic in place as part of the recent economic development agreement with the federal government.
The agreement with the federal government provides certainty for business. It provides a path forward to grow our economy, but it also recognizes that for British Columbians, for Canadians, our shared values of ensuring that economic development goes hand in hand with environmental protection, with partnership with First Nations, and support for local communities are values that we will not abandon and we will stand strong for every single time.
The government says the move protects $3 billion in economic development on the Northwest Coast. Public mistrust in artificial intelligence may be morphing into pure opposition to a state-of-art crime-fighting tool. JBC's Jim Ryan tells us about the growing debate over automated license plate readers.
Flock is the biggest of the ALPR companies, and its CEO understands the public's privacy concerns. But
once they understand what the technology actually does,
Flock's Garrett Langley says,
most people go, this makes a lot of sense. I want my kids to be safe.
The latest headwind facing his company is coming from Washington. Congressman Thomas Massey of Kentucky plans to introduce legislation to defund any police department that uses license plate reading cameras. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And the Trump administration carrying out another wave of strikes overnight against Iran, hitting dozens of targets.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who launched this war with the U.S., issuing this warning in an interview with our Lindsay Davis.
If Iran does strike Israel, how will you respond?
I think they'll make a terrible mistake and will respond very, very forcefully.
Netanyahu has also been less optimistic than President Trump that a deal with Iran could ultimately be reached.
We'll keep you posted on what the latest developments are with those two countries. That is your news to 8:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning, we're asking, how focused were you on your recycling efforts last year? Over 70% say a lot, about 18% say a little, and about 10% say not at all. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa, best your news time is 8:07.
It's time to pull a number out of the balls.
I'm glad you said that.
And start taking text. So everybody who's texted already a number, you're too early. So I'm pulling a number now. Okay.
Now you can go.
Got one. I mean, I'm only kind of pretending like there's just a number generator in front of me that's picking a number, but I'm pretending I'm pulling a ball out of the thing. Full disclosure. Okay. But I got the number now.
Right.
So text me at 71010, a number between 1 and 100, because this is the meat draw. It's the Glenwood Meats meat draw. If you, at this point, guess the correct number between 1 and 100, if you're the first one in, I will call you in just a moment and give you $100 to Glenwood Meats because you've won the meat draw. That could be you, but you got to text me the right number. Just take a guess between 1 and 100. First one right gets the call. That easy. CFAX 1070 Sports. Lots going on here in the wide world of sports. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers host the BC Lions in the CFL tonight, and it's right here on CFAX 1070. We got the kickoff at 5:30 on the radio. The Lions will start rookie Calden Salter at quarterback with Nathan Rourke sidelined with an injury still. Salter came off the bench in last week's loss to Toronto. Winnipeg 4-3 in the West Division, and BC is 1-5. At the Commonwealth Games, Olympic champion Damian Warner opens the men's decathlon today at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. The 36-year-old won Olympic gold in Tokyo and the Commonwealth title the last time Glasgow hosted back in 2014. Canada enters the day second in the gold medal standings with 14. Lots of local sports to talk about. Victoria Harbour Cats baseball team beating the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2 as though those two teams faced off for the second of 3 games this week. They got another one tonight at Royal Athletic Park. The Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship at Leyritz Park yesterday produced a cool result. The Victoria Bulldogs, so this collection of top Victoria players, faced off against Quebec's Diamond Baseball Academy in the deciding game of their championship. And Victoria won 5-2, took their series against Quebec 2-1, and with the win, the Bulldogs become the first Vancouver Island team to earn a berth at the Intermediate Little League World Series, which is going on in California. So they'll have to go pretty soon, though. It starts August 2nd, that tournament. And in other local sports, I had a texter mention this to me earlier. Good morning, Ryan and Lisa. I have some more local sports for you. The Junior A Shamrocks are hosting the Coquitlam Adnacks 4:30 today at the Q Center. It's Game 2 of their best-of-7 league final, and Coquitlam took Game 1. Thank you for the tip, and that's your sports to 8:09. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just looking at numbers because I've got so many coming in at 7:10 as people text in. I'm just looking for the right one. I'm looking. They're coming in. They're coming in fast. They're coming in furious.
Yeah.
Looking for the right one that came out of our little number machine.
We still don't have. Oh,
it's still
what
not there yet.
happens if no one guesses the right number?
If in the next few moments we don't have the precise number, I will take the closest number.
Well, we could just wait until someone actually gets it. We can push it forward a little bit. That's
true.
This builds drama. I like
so
this.
many that are like, one off.
Wow.
Almost there.
Well, if you just told us the number you're looking for, you could help us out.
That would be cheating. Maybe it wouldn't be.
That would be cute, though.
Come
cheating.
On. Still going.
Okay.
Every other day, it's come real fast.
Wow. Yeah.
Seen it.
Well, this is a difficult number, apparently.
Oh, man. Still
You're
going.
tricking people.
I'm just literally just scrolling through pages upon pages of numbers.
I like it because I just figured someone would get it. And here we are with hundreds of numbers coming in. And we're still waiting for the right number.
This one is tense. This is the tensest.
It is between 1 and 100, right?
Yeah. So it's got to come in eventually. All right. I'm gonna keep looking.
Let's do some other things, and you just keep texting numbers in.
I'm gonna look at numbers while I tell you about traffic and weather. Okay, Gorge at Burnside, single lane alternating traffic, kind of slowing things up. Sorry, not Burnside. Not Gorge at Burnside. It's Burnside and Washington. That's what I mean to say.
Okay.
That is where we've got this roadwork single lane traffic. They're pouring some concrete and doing some work, and it's going to continue for the next few days as well. So watch out for that. I mean, I don't think over the weekend, but the next working days, I think it'll be going to about August 7th, they say.
If you hit it, you'll know. That's next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday.
Do you know about the one on Esquimalt Road today?
Tell me all about it.
This is from 9 till 3, so starting in the next 45 minutes. Apparently, Central Utility Service will have a large vacuum truck blocking northbound lane at 820 Esquimalt Road. The crews are there trying to prepare for installation of a hydro pole. So Esquimalt's tight on a good day now with the bike lanes there and lots of construction underway. So that's in front of 820 Esquimalt. You know it if you're delayed in the northbound lanes.
Watch out for that. And in the weather forecast, today is a sunny day, tomorrow's a sunny day, and we've got rain coming in Friday night, though. That is where we'll start to see periods of rain that'll last through Saturday. For the rest of the BC Day long weekend, though, sunshine on Sunday and Monday, and BC Day Monday gets up to 25 degrees, so we'll warm up as we get to the back half of this long weekend. Right now at the Victoria International Airport, it is 16 degrees.
In the kitchen, in the car, and at the office. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Take us with you. Listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Oh, that was tense, but I got the number.
Oh, someone got it?
Oh, it's in. Yeah.
That was wild. Because they were coming in record speed.
Hundreds of texts.
I know. Oh, here we go.
Is it time to dial?
Okay, yeah, let's make that happen.
Okay, let's do it.
Dial the numbers.
All right.
Some disc going here.
I still find this very funny. Oh, wait. Oh, I got to start again. I did it wrong. Okay. I'm under pressure here, guys.
Don't be nervous. Get the number right.
I love your music, by the way, Lisa.
Taking you back, eh? Okay.
Hello.
Hi. Who's this on the line?
Patsy.
Hi, Patsy.
Were you by any chance participating in a meat draw on the radio a few moments ago?
I sure was.
Patsy, you texted me finally the number 18, which was today's number.
Oh. Yay, thank you.
Patsy, you can't keep us waiting like that in suspense.
I was getting worried there. We weren't getting an 18, and then finally it showed up.
Great. Wonderful.
Why did you choose 18?
It's always been my favorite number.
Oh,
really?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh,
I use it all the time.
Are you 18 recycled?
I wish I was.
Aren't we all?
So you're getting $100 to Glenwood Meats. That's the prize here on the CFAX meat draw. What are you going to get? What's your meat of choice?
Have no idea. Have no idea.
Have you been to Glenwood before?
No, I haven't.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Well, you're going to go to Parkdale Drive in Langford. That's where you find them. Really cool spot. They got a lot of great choices. Just go in and have the big wide eyes and look at all the things and go with whatever works for you, because you've got $100 to spend right in time for the BC Day Long Weekend.
Nice.
Patsy, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, throw some money around.
Don't go anywhere. Hold on the line. I'm going to get your information off the air. Texter at 71010 says, I love the Dig Dug music. Is that what that was?
No, that's popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's straight from the, I think, late 70s, early 80s.
Right. Oh, man. Dig Dug. That was a video game I played in the 80s.
Really?
I haven't thought about that in forever.
Well, the music's been used for a lot of different things, but yeah, the composer cashed in on that one.
Love it.
Every time it's played, a couple more bucks in his pocket.
Well, you know what? Everybody, thank you so much for participating. We got another one tomorrow. So don't worry. We've got another chance to win. Stand by. Right now, it's to the headlines. Here's Lisa.
If you're traveling, hopefully not on WestJet because they're about to go on strike. If you're planning on taking a long trip abroad, though, one telecom expert recommends scooping up a prepaid travel eSIM, which are usually significantly cheaper than the per-day roaming rate offered by your carrier. Although Nadir Marcos of PlanHub.ca notes that eSIMs have downsides, like not being able to answer or place calls from a regular phone number. A search of PlanHub's sin.com comparison tool shows for a 2-week stay in France, for example, a travel eSIM with up to 10 gigabytes of data would cost under $14 in total, a drop in the bucket. The U.S. launching another round of strikes on Iran. The U.S. Central Command said last night that the strikes were in response to Tuesday's Iranian attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. Last night's strike in Iran came after the U.S. president told reporters that the U.S. would, quote, hit Iran hard. So tensions, of course, are rising between the U.S. and Iran as a result. CENTCOM said that all the Iranian missiles launched during those attacks were successfully intercepted. In health news, researchers have a new way to treat cavities that avoids drilling at the dentist's office. A University of Michigan study discovered that a liquid brushed onto cavities actually stopped tooth decay in more than half the cases with baby teeth. The liquid called silver diamine fluoride has been used in other countries, but officials in North America have yet to complete trials proving its safety and effectiveness up until this point. Tooth decay impacting more than 40% in children across North America. And that is your CFAX News to 8:18.
So you and I love to talk about safety on the road.
You bet.
We've talked a lot about all of these new devices that are out there.
E-everything. Yeah.
E-everything. You got the e-scooter, the e-bike, the all these things.
Yes.
And, you know, we've had West Shore RCMP on recently talking about some of the rules and safety issues around them. And coming up next, a slightly different take on this. You know, Saanich Municipal Councillor Colin Plant. We talk to him all the time about municipal issues. He has an e-scooter, and he recently had a bit of a mishap with one.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And from that, he's taken some lessons that he's going to share with us. Coming up next, he's going to join us and tell us a story. So stay tuned for that right after our traffic and weather. It's 8:20 here on a Thursday morning. Let's do our traffic and weather. Brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps for a comfortable home no matter the season. Big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps, the design for comfort. The South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. Still the same situation out there on the roads. The major snag is the single-lane alternating traffic at Burnside and Washington. So, yeah, Burnside a little tied up. BC Ferries extremely busy as well. We were talking to BC Ferries about half an hour ago. They mentioned the BC Day long weekend. This is the busiest weekend for them. And it's sure playing out here with reservations throughout the day, filling up most of our sailings. I mean, they're not fully full. Could have picked a better term for that. They're not fully full, but they're getting there pretty much across the board. For the weather forecast, we are looking at a sunny day today. Highs of 20, a little cooler by the water tonight. Lows down to 13. Friday, sunny, but the rain comes in Friday night. Periods of rain through Saturday, but clearing up again on Sunday and Holiday Monday.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070. Remember, you have us in the palm of your hand. For listeners on the go, listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, we're wishing the best to our next guest. Saanich Councillor Colin Plant is a little injured right now after an incident with an e-scooter. He's joining us on the line right now. Sir, how you doing?
Well, good morning. I'm a little bit embarrassed and actually in a lot of pain, to be frank. I've fractured my hip in 3 places.
Oh, dear.
That is not a small injury. That is horrible. So first and foremost, I'm so sorry this happened to you, and I hope you're doing all right.
Well, thank you. I'm quite embarrassed because it was just a stupid oversight in my riding. I made a mistake in where I placed my foot and took a tumble in a parking lot. And then I equally feel embarrassed because I spent 5 hours in the hospital taking time away from people who probably needed it and maybe hadn't done it to themselves.
Well, Colin, if it makes you feel any better, many doctors have been saying that they've had a lot of people showing up with e-scooter injuries. You're not alone. I've had mine fly out from under me. I just was lucky I didn't have what happened with you. So tell us what you're riding and how this occurred.
Sure. It's a bit of a funny story, maybe not in a ha-ha way, because I was an early adopter of e-scooters. I think they're a great mobility device. I was going to buy some ice cream at the local grocery store after having picked up some blackberries, kind of one of the nice things in Victoria. And just as I was coming out of that parking lot, I just was readjusting my foot and missed the platform and took a tumble, probably at about 5 to 10 kilometers an hour, and landed on my left side and really it hurt. Thankfully, a gentleman was in his car, and he quickly parked and helped me up, and I made it home thinking, okay, muscular. I am a 54-year-old guy, so I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm also, I don't think, so old that I maybe wouldn't have been okay. But the next morning wasn't any better. Went to the hospital, and after x-rays and CAT scan, they said there were 3 fractures, not full breaks, but that fortunately they were not displaced, meaning that they were out of alignment so that I wouldn't require a surgery to pin it back together. So because of that, the doctor and the orthopedic surgeon said, we're going to recommend not putting any weight on this for a couple of weeks, and that nature hopefully will heal and you won't need surgery. So it's been a humbling few days because, of course, this was entirely my own fault. And now I am just having a new experience as someone who has mobility challenges, and that's also humbling and gives me a nice perspective on what other people have to experience perhaps all their lives.
What kind of e-scooter do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
No problem. I'm someone who uses Facebook Marketplace, and I purchased it from somebody who actually, when I bought it from them, they weren't particularly comfortable with it. I don't know the brand name. It's in storage right now, and then I may be making a joke here that if anybody wants to buy one, I know one for sale.
You don't want to talk to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you.
Yeah, and I think the thing about them is I'm certainly not going to tell people not to ride them. I don't think that's my place. That's something that's being considered with the provincial pilot project. But I certainly am going to say, don't ever get on an e-scooter without a helmet, because that's the one thing I haven't mentioned is that the next day when I looked at my helmet, I had one of those massive plastic kind of ripped scars, not scars, but like scratches on the side of it. And I can only imagine that I must have landed on my head as well as my left side. And I just can't imagine. I was going 5 to 10 kilometers. I was just starting off. Maximum e-speed or e-scooter speed is supposed to be 25 kilometers an hour. And I've set mine to be on the eco mode, so it stays at that speed. But if you were going 40 to 50, which this actually probably is a bit of a discussion, is e-scooters that are operating on our roads, nobody's checking the wattage of the batteries, which equates to how fast they will go and the power, and nobody is probably doing a photo radar or speed radar of how fast these devices are going. They are not supposed to go over 25 kilometers. So e-bikes can go 32, but I often see people being passed on e-bikes by scooters, and clearly something's wrong there. So the pilot project, which is going to go for another few years in BC, that's probably the type of input they need, is that we need to regulate what's imported. If you import a car into Canada, there's a whole process, but you and I and anybody can go online and buy scooters, go into stores that are bigger and faster than what's supposed to be operating on our streets.
Agreed. And 25 is it. I will tell you, the police in Vancouver, just was a week ago, stopped a scooter rider doing 40 over the speed limit. They were doing 65 where they should have been doing 25. So when you are speeding like that, if police do stop you, that becomes a motor vehicle incident, and you will be fined as if you were riding a motor vehicle because you were going over 25. So insurance is impacted. The fact that you don't have insurance, the fact that you don't have a proper license for it, that comes into play. And that rider was fined over $1,000. So
good. I hope they had it impounded too.
Yeah, I believe they did, because that's considered stunt riding if you're riding that far over what the regulated speed is. So these, police don't like them because there's a big gray area right now as to how they would be, legislated and how it would be handled. But if you're caught doing that over 25, you could be subject to a license under the Motor Vehicle Act. So good. The reason why it's set at 25, and you understand this fully now because of the fall you had, even at slow speeds, you can do serious damage to yourself or someone else if you were to hit them. And we have studies and recent stories of people hitting other vehicles, people hitting pedestrians, people hitting cyclists. These things are powerful. And with that, we have to have a respect for them.
Absolutely. Well stated.
Now, Colin, again, we hope you a speedy recovery. You had this incident on the e-scooter. You got the hip fracture. Now, final word, just because we're running out of time, but it's not to say that these things are bad or that people shouldn't ride them, but what are your bits of wisdom now you would like to impart on anybody who is riding them or thinking about riding them? Kind of final words of wisdom for you.
You're not invulnerable.
You don't bounce?
You don't bounce, and with a great device, you have to be paying attention more than in any other form of vehicle because you're just so vulnerable.
Colin Plant, he's a Saanich councillor, of course. In this case, though,
resting comfortably.
He's taken a bit of a break while his hip. I shouldn't laugh. This really is terrible. I'm so sorry this happened to you, and I hope you have a speedy recovery.
Thank you very much, and everybody out there, be safe.
All right.
Working on it.
Wow. Well, there you go. These things keep coming up in the news, Lisa, and there's another incident.
It's something that's going to have to be addressed very soon because there's just been too many incidents. When you have ER doctors screaming, like, look, there's kids coming in with life-altering injuries because of scooters. It's not to say the scooter is wrong because, like Colin, I love having a scooter. They're really great transportation. They're e-energy. So all of it is good, except we have to have the parameters in place to protect people, if not from the scooter, from themselves. You've got to be wearing the gear, and you've got to be aware. And his was just I fell off to the side, but because it was moving, that made the injury even so more damaging.
We'll take a break. 8:30 News with Lisa next.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Hello. Oh my God.
Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
CFAX Victoria,
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 8:32 on Thursday, July 30th. It's a sunny day today. Right now, sitting at 15 degrees in Victoria. Actually, make that 16 degrees. We got a little warmer just now.
Right.
There you go. Hey, it's news time. Here's Lisa.
Premier David Eby joining coastal First Nation leaders in Prince Rupert yesterday talking about the importance of the oil tanker ban. This after the deal with the federal government earlier this month that will keep heavy oil tankers off our pristine north coast. Marilyn Slett, president of the Coastal First Nations Great Bear Initiative, says this is an important win for her people and the environment.
We stand here today with the province to celebrate the fact that the North Coast will remain protected from the threat of an oil spill. We shared this when the announcement was made a few weeks ago, and we shared today that it is a good day for our people. It's a good day for our marine relatives and the over 400 species of fish that reside on the BC coast.
The moratorium prohibits oil tankers carrying more than 12,500 metric tons of crude oil or persistent oil products as cargo from stopping, loading, or unloading at ports and marine installations in the area. Liberal MPs have blocked parliamentary hearings aimed at clarifying what the Prime Minister's government promised the U.S. president in order to get the Gordie Howe International Bridge opened to traffic. The House Committee on Government Operations Estimates met yesterday at the request of the Tories to decide whether to hold hearings about the revenue-sharing agreement that convinced Washington to open the span. At a news conference in Red Deer yesterday, Carney argued Canada has paid a fraction of the economic benefit that the bridge provides.
That's being pragmatic and moving forward. And we got a bridge that's open. We've got opportunities open. And in terms of where we are as a country, we still have the lowest tariff rate of any country on an average basis.
The proposed agreement in principle says Canada will share half of net toll revenues with the U.S. for the next 15 years. That seemed to delay a 2012 agreement that would see Canada recover its costs from financing the construction of the bridge before sharing any revenue. A New Brunswick politician going viral for delivering a speech in the provincial legislature with some unusual passages. Progressive Conservative MLA Bill Oliver appears to read a few odd sentences from the June 9th speech to match the language typically used by an artificial intelligence chatbot. Sarah Laframboise is with the nonprofit group Evidence for Democracy. She says this is not surprising.
Unfortunately, I think that politicians are using AI very commonly for things like speeches. And, you know, the key point with this particular example is the lack of human oversight.
In one instance in his speech, Oliver paused and said, quote, "Here's a more natural flowing version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points." And Ozzy Osbourne will be honored at Universal Studios theme Halloween this season. Universal Studios Hollywood and Orlando will each feature Ozzy Osbourne Prince of Darkness haunted houses for this year's Halloween Horror Night events. The houses will each be unique with a theme park, but both will start with Osbourne's classic hit Crazy Train. The Hollywood attraction will then take guests through the Osbourne Asylum, while Orlando will feature ruins in a dungeon. Ozzy's widow Sharon and son praise the haunted houses, calling them a wonderful tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. That's your news to 8:36. Your CFAX 1070 news poll. Are you focused, or how focused were you on your recycling efforts in the last year? 71% say a lot, 18% a little, 11% not at all. You can vote at CFAX1070.com or the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time is 8:37.
Thank you, Lisa. We got some sunshine on the way for today. A few clouds out there as well, but clearing as the day goes on. Highs eventually to hit 20, or right now at 16. CFAX 1070 Sports for the world of baseball. I've got so many baseball stories, like the fact that the Victoria Bulldogs Little League team is going on to the World Series event, which will be taking place in California in just a few days. How did they get there? Well, they've had this Canadian Intermediate Little League Championship going on locally. And yesterday, at Leyritz Park, the Victoria Bulldogs faced the Quebec Diamond Baseball Academy in the deciding game of the championship series. Victoria wins the game 5-2 to take the series 2-1, and with that win, the Bulldogs become the first Vancouver Island team to ever earn a berth at the Intermediate Little League World Series.
I got to tell you, Sunday in Livermore, California, it's going to be 34 Celsius.
Ooh, a hot one for the boys.
So pace yourself, boys.
I love it. Also, the Victoria Harper Cats beat the Port Angeles Lefties 3-2 last night. Those two teams will face off again for the second of those three games tonight, Royal Athletic Park. That was the second game. There will be the third game tonight, I should say. Correct that. And then they're off on the road for a bit. The final thing going on for the regular season for the Harper Cats will be this Monday, the fireworks night and the fan appreciation night. So that's going to be going on.
Good.
And rounding out all the baseball, Blue Jays 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals. They take the series 2-1. Seattle Mariners losing 4-2 to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Moving on. Lacrosse Junior A level of Shamrocks are in their playoffs. They're hosting the Coquitlam Adnax at 4:30 today at the Q Center. It's game 2 of their best of 7 league final. And there's CFL football action right here on CFAX tonight. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers host the BC Lions, with the Lions starting Calden Salter as a quarterback in place of the injured Nathan Rourke. Kickoff's at 5:30 and the game's right here on CFAX 1070. Your time is now 8:39. Hey, CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home no matter the season. Big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. Designed for comfort. South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. On the roads, the commute actually out of the West Shore into Victoria is looking a lot lighter than it was yesterday. Tons of people commuting yesterday. Not so much today. It's pretty smooth sailing. Really good situation there. Watch out for the single-lane alternating traffic at Burnside Road and Washington. That's going to be continuing today and for the next few work days into next week as well, through next week. For BC Ferries, busy. We've got the 9 o'clock sailing full, which is coming up. The 10 o'clock sailing still has some room left, but many of the sailings throughout the day are heavily reserved. So just watch out for a busy day there. And in the weather forecast, mainly sunny today, highs of 20, a little cooler by the water, a few clouds tonight, lows of 13. Tomorrow, sunny through the day, but rain coming in Friday night into Saturday. Periods of rain to start the long weekend on Saturday, but Sunday and holiday Monday looking sunny. On the markets, after huge losses yesterday, where are things going today? The S&P TSX is down again, but just 67 points. It's slightly less dramatic at 35,266 right now. The Dow Jones Industrials, though, clawing back a little bit, but it's up 129 to 51,723. NASDAQ up 501 to 24,944. Canadian dollar at 71.7 cents U.S.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
We love it when you join the conversation at 7-10-10, and many people weighing in on e-scooters. We were just talking to Saanich councillor Colin Plant. We've been talking to him for years. We know Colin Plant. Well, he had a really unfortunate mishap on his e-scooter. Crash in a parking lot. He's ended up with his hip fractured in 3 places. He's talking about just how uncomfortable it is and how kind of embarrassed he was about the whole thing. He's hopefully going to be doing all right, but he's certainly wanting to spread the message about, be careful with these things, be safe.
He's been duly humbled. And the thing is, his was a bit of a freak accident, too. His wasn't a high speed. He said he was maybe doing 5 to 10. It was slow, and his foot missed the platform. And I understand what he's talking about. I have a Segway 9-bot e-scooter, and one misstep, and it's a powerful thing. If I hit the throttle by mistake, it whips out from under me. I've had that happen, too. So it's humbling because you're, wait a minute, how did that just happen? I'm an adult. I know how to handle this thing, but it's a powerful tool. And so you handle power tools with respect.
Texter at 71010 says, I love my e-scooter. I wear a helmet and protective gear. I had a slow speed crash and still broke 2 ribs.
Oh, wow.
My helmet saved my head and face. So wear your gear, says the texter.
Yeah, much gear, not so much e-scooter stuff, but motorcycle gear. There's actually on the tag, it'll say the slide rating.
Slide rating?
Correct.
Tell me about that.
Well, because you dress for the slide, not the ride.
Is that why people wear leather? Because it slides really well?
There's actually better material. My jacket and pants and jeans have Kevlar in them.
Oh.
So it's actually better. Leather's good, but there's other material out there that's much more comfortable now.
Okay.
And it kind of breathes with you. And there's summer jackets, winter jackets, all different kinds of, whatever you want to spend, there's gear for it. But a lot of the tags have slide ratings. And it'll actually say how many meters this is going to slide with you until it begins to disintegrate. And then it's you against pavement.
Yeah.
So it's relevant to this too because you don't want to wrap yourself in a duvet or something every time you go. You have to be able to move. But I see a lot of people riding scooters, e-bikes, a lot of motorcyclists this time of year with no gloves on.
Yeah.
You need your hands for things like bringing food to your mouth and things like that. So, yeah, you need to wear the right gear and check the gear. If you need to buy gear for your e-scooter, there's a lot of crossover motorcycle gear that wears really well. It's lightweight, it's breathable, so it's super comfortable. I find a lot of my motorcycle gear works very well on the scooter. And a lot of people on scooters, especially higher speed, have taken to wearing a full face because your number one impact point is your chin.
Oh, okay. Like just the way that the scooters work?
Right-hand side is 19%, other side is 18% because most of us are right-handed. So this will be the number one impact point. So if you like to eat, which is what I tell my students.
Face, yeah. Who doesn't like your mouth?
Yeah, so, we had someone saying that, Colin said, I hit my head. I didn't even realize until afterwards that I hit my head. So he'll be buying himself a new helmet eventually when he gets back on the scooter. He thinks he's not talking to it right now, he said. It's downstairs.
I know,
I think the scooter's grounded.
Yeah, I could definitely see maybe being a little trepidatious about getting back on the bike.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining the conversation at 7:10:10. But right now at 8:45, let's get to the news headlines. What else is happening?
Let's talk about in the air. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says 4,400 flight attendants working with WestJet could be walking the picket lines as soon as Sunday, citing the two sides are far apart in key issues. The union issuing a 72-hour strike notice, which would come into place this weekend. The second largest air carrier in Canada says they're still actively trying to negotiate to reach a deal. But of course, there's been changes afoot that show that the deal may not be coming, at least not right away. Should delays or cancellations occur, the airline says any impacted passengers will be refunded or reaccommodated as applicable. But of course, you don't want to be caught midstream. So a lot of people changing their flights. They are allowing flight changes, cancellations, and whatnot until the 4th, expecting this to come to fruition. The BC Wildfire Service says it's grateful of a team of from Mexico that are planning to arrive next week. A number of them, 112 personnel, are set to arrive on the 3rd, and then 102 arriving on next Thursday. It says the Mexican contingents are highly trained and will join the firefighters to fight the fires across BC. More than 130 burning, and 50 of those are considered out of control. Here on the island, we're doing pretty well so far going into the long weekend. So hopefully no campfires are going to be set that make it out of control. But we have currently 3 fires burning. 2 of them are under control and 1 is being held. So good news. The Vancouver Island area anyway. The U.S. and Iran each firing missiles today as the pattern of back and forth strikes again takes hold and dimming promise for any quick resolution in this war. After a brief respite, the risk of a return of an all-out war emerged again, and the fighting threatened to engulf even more countries. Jordan says it has intercepted Iranian missiles for the second consecutive day, while Kuwait said a strike in the northern part of the country killed 1 person. And that is your news to 8:47.
Thank you, Lisa. Coming up in just a few moments, Mario Canseco from Research Co. joining us doing polling on big issues in BC and Canada. And it's been a while since we heard about what, was sometimes referred to as the condo bailout plan, but is really...
to get people in the houses.
Characterized more as, buying up those Vancouver area condos to try to get people affordable housing. So whichever way you're looking at it, we want to find out how it's going over with British Columbians, with Canadians, and that's what Research Co. has been doing. So we're going to catch up on that issue next. We're going to check traffic and weather as well. So if you see a problem out there, text us at 71010.
Where the noise stops and the conversation begins.
Hey, it's Friday. Welcome to the Graham Richardson Show.
The stories that shaped your week aren't just headlines. They are the moments we live through and the decisions that change what comes next.
Let's take a closer look at that together.
It's national conversations. From major policy shifts to the fun, unexpected trends and friends everyone will be talking about. It is intelligent, unpredictable, and completely Canadian. Stay informed. Stay ahead. The Graham Richardson Show. Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on CFAX 1070.
8:50. Let's check CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. Actually, the major routes are looking fairly good right now. Malahat, Pat Bay Highway, even our Trans-Canada Highway and Island Highway route in from the West Shore are looking fairly clear right now. The thing that's busy is BC Ferries because everybody's trying to get out of town ahead of the BC Day long weekend. So expect a lot of sailing waits, I think, today. We've already got a 9 o'clock sailing that's full. The 10 o'clock is actually not so bad. It's 85% full, but there's a ton of reservations nearly filling up most of the sailings throughout the rest of the day. So that's the thing to watch. Weather is sunny today, sunny tomorrow, although some rain by Friday night. Periods of rain Saturday. Then we got Sunday, clear again, sun's back. Holiday Monday, sun continues. Highs up to 25 degrees by Monday. So that's what we're looking at in our long-range forecast. Right now, it is 16 degrees.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Housing policy continues to be a big issue for BC politics, also tends to dominate some of the controversies we've got in BC politics right now. And that leads us to Research Co., who have a recent poll suggesting British Columbians are largely mixed on the rent-to-own proposal some critics have described as a, quote-unquote, condo bailout. Research Co. President Mario Canseco joining us now to break it all down and taking a look at how his research has gone. Mario, always great to talk to you. How you doing?
My pleasure, Ryan. Great to be here with you.
So let's talk about what you found out. What was the big top-line number you discovered here when looking into this issue, the condo bailout thing? How are people feeling about this now that we're a few weeks in?
Well, this one was quite interesting because we really see a public that is mixed in the way it is assessing the policies. We have roughly the same proportion of people who think that this is a bailout, that this is wrong, that this is only helping developers. Slightly larger proportion who think that this is going to be beneficial for people who are seeking housing. Not a situation where either of the two teams is winning, if you will. About the federal housing plan, you're either going to run into people who say this is a fantastic idea and it's going to work very well, or people who decry it immediately. So I think there's a sense from British Columbians that they want to wait a little bit and see where this takes them. It's not as if everybody's happy with the way things are going. I think the federal government has acknowledged that the rollout wasn't particularly great, happening in the middle of the World Cup and leading to some confusion. But there's still a little bit of hope, particularly from young people, that this is going to work out and make housing a little bit more affordable here in BC.
Okay, so younger demographics more likely to support this. But you mentioned otherwise fairly split. Does it split along party lines? Like, are we seeing some of that? The conservative voters think it's terrible. The liberal voters think it's great. Is it that kind of thing?
Well, we wanted to test it by looking into some of the things that have been said without revealing to the respondents who said them. And it really works out well when you look at the party lines. And we have a significant proportion of conservatives who believe that the plan wastes taxpayer dollars, which is what Linda Hepner said. And we also have 55% who say that it bails out developers, but it climbs significantly higher with conservatives, which is the opinion of Pierre Poilievre. And we have more people who voted for the NDP in the last provincial election who believe that what Mark Carney is saying, that what David Eby is saying, even when we didn't reveal that they were the ones who said those things, is actually what is going to pan out.
Now, there's also this idea, which is maybe instead should we remove the GST on homes under $1 million? That's another thing that kind of popped up in your survey.
This is the most popular measure from the new things that we've seen that we have in the survey. 68% of British Columbians saying, why can't we do the same thing that is already in place in Ontario? They have a system right now in place where they remove the full harmonized sales tax, which is 13% in Ontario, for every home valued up to $1 million. Can we do something similar in BC just for the 5% GST? And we have 68% of British Columbians who say this is a good idea. I think this is going to help housing, and it's something and we should be implementing. We haven't heard anything from Mark Carney or David Eby on this front. But when you have two-thirds of British Columbians saying that they like this idea, then it's definitely something that should be considered.
Yeah, and I guess one of the problems there is in Ontario, they've got the harmonized sales tax. We don't have the same tax system in BC. As you may remember, we had a whole referendum about that and all that many years ago. But anyways, is that why we didn't just do that and why we've gone this different direction of, buying some of these unsold condos in the Vancouver area or beyond and turning them into this rent-to-own system? Is that why we went that way and not the other way?
I think that is part of it. One of the issues that we have is it's a plan that is not going to be particularly attractive to everybody. We're talking about a limited amount of properties that can be used this way. The federal government is saying we have 2,200 unsold condos. We're going to turn them into this rent-to-buy housing. It's not going to make a significant dent in the process. And I think this is one of the issues that makes housing such a complicated issue for policymakers. It's not like transportation where you can just open a SkyTrain station down the line and then people understand it. There's an emotional connection with housing that is very individual to families, to people, to communities. It's very hard to get something like that when you're saying, don't blame me if you didn't make it into the housing market when 2,200 other people might.
Well, there you go. If you're curious about the state of this housing plan, a few weeks in with a bit of research now done, it's kind of split still here in BC. I got Mario Canseco from Research Go. Hey, a few moments left, but I just want to talk about a new poll you only just dropped this morning. This is just fresh, hot off the presses, and it's about the Alberta separation issue with the non-binding referendum coming. What have you found out here?
Well, the biggest finding that we have is Canadians are actually split on how this is going to go down. We know that this referendum is happening on October 19th. We have 40% of Canadians who believe that the Leave side, the side that wants to vote to hold a binding referendum on separation, is actually going to win. But we have 50% of Albertans who believe that the Leave side will win. So there's a discrepancy in the way Canadians and Albertans are feeling about it. But when we ask Albertans, how are you going to vote on this thing? Only 33% of us tell us that they want to vote for independence. So there's a significant gap between expectation and reality when it comes to what is happening in Alberta just a couple of months from now.
Well, we'll keep following that story and more, but there's Mario Canseco from Research Co. Always love talking to these issues with you. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, Ryan. Anytime.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, but there's so much more to come on CFAX. Lisa's got your 9 o'clock news. We'll be getting the latest national news out of Ottawa on the radio coming up right after that. Adam Sterling back on the talk show microphone, bringing it back to Victoria as of 11, and much more after that. Talk to you tomorrow.